Yo, what it do, baby? It's yo boy, O-Dog, Orion, one half of the Northwest Sports Fanatics, J-Bands. What it do, baby? Michael Pierpont, yo, what is good? We had a great show earlier today with me and Marcus, kind of going over some of the rookies that we feel are going to, break out going into 2019. I'm not Pierce. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Saints drafted that safety this season. Expect big. Yeah, I got a lot of under-the-radar breakout players. Most of the guys that I'm going to be talking about are not going to be rookies. Obviously, Brian Burns, from the video, J.J. Arcega. There's Whiteside. There's so many of the other guys that we could have mentioned that I expect a lot from that we didn't touch on in the video that I do like. Michael Pierpont, what to do, my guy? I'm not Pierce. That is a good one. Mr. T-Money, 1993. DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, not on the list. Throw it away. Oh, that's funny. But I definitely got a good show with these under-the-radar breakout players. I do love Andre Dillard. That's a guy that is going to be Jason Peters', probably long-time replacement, I would assume, at some point. Bryce Jackson, what's up, my guy? I'll wait for a few more people to hop in. I wanted to start the stream a little bit later. Since we're not talking about rookies, how about Keith Kirkwood, Traquan Smith, Aaron Jones? Well, we'll see if I got any of those guys in my list. Is he even going to start year one? Michael. So we'll see. But I got some names that I guarantee that you guys will, kind of feel that will be there. Tyler Boyd, avoid the Boyd, better be on this list. I feel that Tyler Boyd already broke out last year, though. I'm not sure how much more he'll break out, especially with AJ Green, Mr. Pierpont, already going down and not being probably ready for the first couple weeks. Andy Dalton isn't the most consistent, but I felt like Boyd broke out last year. We picked him up in fantasy. I already kind of saw the potential in him, but he is a guy that could take his stats to the next level in fantasy. That's for damn sure. And I knew AJ Green, I hate to say it, but I knew he was going to get hurt. I didn't think it would be in preseason, on that crappy turf, which is a little unfortunate. Javon Wright, did you get your notifications fixed? Something's going on with YouTube. I don't know what it is. Cooper, Damian Williams, that's a good one, obviously, but he started to break out last year also. John Roberts, yo. He said, Bills Mafia, I'm in the room. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with YouTube. It seems like with a lot of the YouTube channels, there's issues with monetization. There's issues with notifications being on and off. I don't know if people are hacking YouTube or hacking our channel or if they're just being haters. I don't know what's going on, but it just seems like with our channel, with our sub count sometimes going up and then going backwards, and then just things being kind of weird with our fan base. They'll reach out to me personally and something's going on with their notifications. Seems a little weird. You know what I mean? As we're getting into football season, I'm not sure if some people are threatened by the Northwest Sports Fanatics, if you know what I mean, but I don't know. But I want to go over the top 5 NFL breakout players that are under the radar, and I think I'm going to impress you guys, with the list, because it's not going to be everyone that you would expect. Some of them, you're going to expect. Six Ink, I unsubscribed and subscribed back, and the notifications back came back for me. Good. Yeah, I saw that. So I don't know what's going on, if someone's just, messing with our subs or what's going on, but it looks like they tried to, take off some of the notifications for some of the people. That's not cool, man. All we're trying to do is grow. Can't we all just have a YouTube channel and, talk sports? But I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Dante Pettis, that is a good one. He started to kind of make a name for himself last year, obviously with Marquise Goodwin, and we didn't really know what we were going to get out of that, that team, the San Francisco 49ers, when Jimmy G went down. AJ Green, my cousin-in-law, only saw him twice at church and at some of his camps. Javon Wright. He's off the couch. He's off the bed. He's off the ground. Damon P. Aqua Dio. What it do? No one understands why I do that, but Damon, you do. Fly, Eagles fly, my dude. Did you get Madden last night? That is the question. McKinnon has a lot of competition in that backfield. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, where things go. Mr. No When, I won't forget about you. They really rank Julio and AB higher than Michael Thomas. Well, of course they did, because it's biased. You know what I mean? You already know what they're going to do. You know what I mean? You guys can, if you guys want to comment below the list, because obviously they went through, what was it? They went through 30 to 21. So it was 20 to 11 today. Is that right? From the NFL Network's 20 to 11. And then it'll be the top 10. Tomorrow? I would assume. So if you guys want to comment below, if you guys have the list, because I know there's going to be people, I was going to hop on a little earlier and kind of go over that, but I wanted the other video with me and Marcus did. That was a great video of our rookies breaking out that we did together. He finally got a chance to come in here and record with me. I wanted it to marinate just a little bit by the time that we did this video because I wanted to go live just because I miss you guys, man. I want to talk football with you guys. And we are literally 2 fucking days away from preseason. Yeah, it's preseason, I know. But the thing is when that first preseason game starts, I don't give a shit if it's like the 4th stringers running around. It is fucking football. I mean, do you guys get it? Like, that means that the following weekend, right? Not this upcoming weekend, but the following, we're going to be getting games. I mean, it's going to start rolling. Then preseason, and then boom, it's going to be regular season before you know it. I'm super stoked. Cooper got mad in 20 last night. Oh, I'm fucking jealous, dude. I wish I could have get mad. And I was on NFL Network all day at work today, doing my thing, making my calls to the business owners, but on the side screen, I was on NFL Network all day, peeping all the camp news, going over AJ Green, going over Derrick Henry, going over Andrew Luck. I mean, all the different pieces that unfortunately, a lot of them that got banged up. How much did you miss? You haven't missed anything, Javon, because you got off the couch, you got off the bed, you're on the computer, you're here. But go over the list, you guys. If any of you guys can go over the list that they just posted. I mean, I think it just came out about an hour ago. And if you guys can do, 21 to 11, 10, or what was it? However they do the list with the 10 that they did, that'd be great because I think a lot of people would like to see what is going on. But I want to go over these kind of breakout players because it's going to be significant for a lot of their teams moving forward. So I have one honorable mention. I mean, there's a couple others that I could have went over, but I mean, obviously you got guys like, DJ Moore, but we have to see on Cam's shoulder and see how it's going. There's, Pettis is another guy that could really break out. The one key guy that is more of a bigger name is this player here, the quarterback, right? You guys are already going to know because that's why I have him at 5 actually, let me go to my honorable mention first. Let me just get into it. So my honorable mention is going to be the safety stealer, Mr. Edmonds, right? Terrell Edmonds, right? He's got a brother, obviously, on the Buffalo Bills as well. I feel he's the type of guy that him and Devin Bush are going to be able to really gel together. As I'm kind of going over rosters and seeing how the league is starting to shape out, I'm kind of feeling right now, I'm not 100%, but I feel like the Ravens might be the team that scales back a little bit. And I kind of see Pittsburgh and Cleveland kind of taking the next step with obviously Cincinnati being that, back feeder team, especially with this AJ Green injury. Joe Mixon will play great in fantasy. Don't get me wrong. He'll be probably like the 6th running back chosen in most drafts. But Edmonds and Bush as a combo safety linebacker, this is going to be key for them moving forward. I really liked what he did last season towards the end of the season. He's the type of guy I really feel that he's going to break out. Not a lot of people know who he is. A lot of people know his brother, obviously in Buffalo, the linebacker a little bit more. But don't sleep on Mr. Edmonds, the safety from the Steelers. I'm digging deep into my research and going through a lot of guys, so I wanted to go over him because I really feel with his awareness, his tackling, being able to see the field, his vision, and then working with Devin Bush, it's going to make a big difference. And on that defensive end, that's really what's going to be able to separate them from winning the division, getting the wild card, or holding off Baltimore if they're going to be in that fight. All right, so that's my honorable mention. Terrell Edmonds, safety from the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, the black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. You feel me? All right, and then number 5 is a quarterback that you should already know. The reason that I have him on the list, it's kind of an easy one to guess. I don't know what you're going to get from him this season. He gained about 17 or 18 pounds of muscle. All right, he bulked up. All right, but how much of that bulking up is going to work, right? He has an issue where he's kind of got this syndrome where if his first read is covered, he runs, right? If you do that like Mariota used to do, you're going to get fucking blasted and injured. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Lamar Jackson. So we just kind of barely got to see what he could do. He's not very good in the pocket just yet. We got to be able to see if he can go over his progressions. First read, second read, third option. Besides tucking it and running and getting fucking blasted, I need to be able to see him, work his teammates. Mark Andrews, I need to see the development of the players. I need to see how he's going to look, because with losing CJ Mosley and some of the pieces, I know you got Earl Thomas III on the back end, but they're really going to ride or die with Lamar Jackson. And depending on how he plays, this could be a team that goes 10-6. But if they underachieve and have a few other players get banged up, they easily could go 7-9 or 8-8, in my personal opinion, and Cleveland could jump them. I'm not saying that Cleveland's going to win the division, but just watching Baker tape and watching the defense, even though they got in some fights, there in camp. Kitchens, I'm not really a believer of him at head coach, but I just think the depth on the Cleveland Brown roster might be just a little bit better than what I'm seeing with Baltimore, unless Lamar Jackson takes the next step in his game. It's going to be tough because, like I said, he isn't really like a natural gunslinger. You know what I mean? To me, like in college, the game is different. In college, you can dominate, but when you get to the pros, sometimes you cap out. Like Marcus Mariota might have capped out, okay? This hurts me, all right? From the Marcus Mariota might have capped out. We're going to have to wait and see. I got to see if Lamar Jackson's going to take the next step. I'm not too sure how many years it's going to take for him to get there. If Ozzie was still running the show, Newsome, I'd feel a little bit better. But you do have John Harbaugh. You do have great coaching in place. So we'll have to see. But they're going to ride or die with Lamar Jackson, all right? And that's my number 5. Number 4, and each one is going to be kind of, all right, I saw that one coming, all right? And then they're going to get harder and harder as I get to kind of towards 3, 2, and 1, all right? Number 4 is a guy that if you're playing fantasy football, all right, you hear me? You're playing fantasy football. You're looking for a wide receiver number 2. You're looking for the guy that you can pair up with a DeAndre Hopkins, a guy that you can pair up with Michael Thomas once they get him in camp. Can't guard Mike. A guy that you're trying to pair up with Julio or Odell or one of the top receivers in the league, right? And you want to be able to dominate each week, and this guy is going to get probably about 7 to 10 targets a game, right? He's going to get probably 5 to 8 catches a game. He's going to be able to get in the end zone, if not every game, every other game. He's going to end up being one of the key weapons because they have a new head coach that's going to mentor this quarterback that has had issues with throwing bad reads and bad interceptions. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, my very own Chris Godwin. I feel out of receivers that have been in the league about 3 years or less, he is the guy that his stat line should increase the most. His rookie year, he only had 1 TD. Last year, he jumped up with an inaccurate, horrible Jameis, 59 receptions, 842 yards, 7 TDs, which is pretty solid for like a second option wide receiver when you got OJ Howard and you got Cameron Brate and you got all these other weapons. This season, he should get over 70 receptions, over 1,000 yards receiving, and then somewhere between that 9 to 11 TD range. I mean, if the quarterback was better, obviously I would be able to, maximize those touchdowns up to maybe that 13 range. But let's face it, Jameis isn't good. He's licking his fingers trying to get the W's. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's immature. He's a knucklehead. I need to move on. But I do like Chris Godwin a lot. As much as I love DJ Moore, Javon, all right, and I know you love your Panthers, Chris Godwin's stats are going to be better than DJ Moore. Even if Cam Newton sometimes is a better quarterback than Jameis, Godwin will be able to find a way. His route running and his ability to get separation, I feel, is a little bit better, right? Godwin's stats are going to be better. And that's not me being a homer. That is big fat 6 ink nose. All right, so that's my number 4. Now we're getting harder. We're getting a little bit deeper. Number 3, this player's stats are going to double because their quarterback gets scrutinized. True, right? They're trying to offer him $30 million, $25 million, $31 million, 28. There's a lot of numbers thrown out. 99.99999% of the people say he is not worth it. But for this organization, they feel he is. The running back is in Mexico, in Cabo right now. The team is not situated right now They need to get things situated if they want to compete with the Eagles, fly, because they're going to fly away with the division. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys, Michael Gallup. Now, I think he has a lot of room to grow. DJ Moore's stats will probably be better than Michael Gallup. They're going to be just depending on how many targets each game you're going to get. But look at Michael Gallup's numbers from last year. They weren't very good. 33 catches, 507 yards, 2 TDs. I mean, so it'll be really easy to get, probably that 50, 55 range in receptions, maybe somewhere between that 8 and 1,000 yards. And then he easily should be able to get 5 to 6 TDs with probably upside to 7. It just depends if Dak can use him as a weapon. Some of the other guys are, banged up or released or on new teams. You got Randall Cobb there. I have no confidence in him whatsoever. Pretty much. And then you got Jason Witten. I have no confidence in him whatsoever. So it's pretty much Amari Cooper and Zeke. And obviously, if Amari's covered and Zeke isn't going to be able to get, every single, screen pass, even though he loves to get 80, 90 receptions, the third option behind Cooper, Zeke is going to be Gallup. I do like his upside. Would I have him in fantasy? I don't know. Probably not. It would be like a reserve guy, a guy that you would just have on your bench, maybe for, just subbing in on someone's bye week. But depending on the matchup, if they played a shitty defense, Buccaneers, unless Devin White dominates, Michael Gallup can be a guy that could probably score, maybe every other game if he maximizes his potential and if Dak can get a chemistry, because we already know the chemistry with Dak and Cooper and Dak and Zeke. But Gallup is a guy, from what I've seen in camp, he's maturing. He's more confident, and it'll be easy for him to go from 33 to 50 catches or 60 catches, and he only had 2 TDs. He can get to 4. That'll be big facts. That'll be easy. But with upside to 6 or 7, I like that, kind of underdog, kind of sleeper, breakout, under the radar kind of guy. So Michael Gallup I have at number 3. Now it gets tough. Number 2. Number 2 is a wide receiver that I would say that only I know, Marcus knows, and the New Orleans Saints fans know. But if you're not really into the New Orleans Saints and you don't really follow a whole lot of other teams, you may not know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Tre'Quan Smith. This is a guy that I feel that they're looking for that second option. You got can't guard Mike with Drew Brees. He needs to get in the building. Second option, right? Big facts is going to be Alvin, AK-41, the alien Kamara. Kind of like with the Dallas Cowboys situation. Their number 1 receiver, the running back will be the second option, right? Who is the next option? Off the top, you're saying Jared Cook, which could be one of those guys that will get a lot of different looks, correct. But who will be that other guy that will be able to, spread the field? Who will be that guy that when Michael Thomas is getting the safety over the top, that'll be able to break open, break out, be under the radar? A guy that could really have a good connection with Drew moving forward. If you've seen Drew Brees in camp, he looks nice, okay? He's in MVP form. Going into his second year, no one really expects a whole lot from him. He could really break out and really make a name for himself. So if you don't watch the New Orleans Saints, or if you don't play a whole lot of fantasy, keep an eye on Tre'Quan Smith. He could be a guy that really breaks out. And yeah, I did see the whole Zion thing, and I'm not sure if you guys saw the Zion playing catch with Drew Brees. And they also have some Madden YouTube videos where Zion is a creative character. That was nuts. I don't know if you guys have watched that, but that's crazy. So that's my number 2, Tre'Quan Smith, wide receiver from the New Orleans Saints. Marcos Pineda, Yogi, what's up, everyone? What up, Orion? Football's just around the corner. Fuck yeah, you know it, baby. Marcos Pineda, everyone in the room, is a guy that is one of been my best friends for years and years and years and years. We've known each other for over 20 years. Big Blazer fans. Speaking of Blazers, CJ, 3J, McCollum, Marcos. We locked him up 3-year extension, $100 million. I know you love that. So we got Dame, we got CJ, we got him for the next 5 years. We need to make a run. So the next step is trying to get Danilo Gallinari, right? If we can try to maybe trade Bazemore away. Right? Maybe trade Gary Trent Jr. away. First round draft pick, get somebody else, make the squad better. I'm dropping facts for you, Marcos. Are you listening? We'll see if that happens. But Tre'Quan Smith, number 2 breakout player, as I change subjects back from the NBA and our home team, the Blazers, to the top 5 breakout players. Now, my number 1 breakout player, I'm not sure if there's any 49er fans that are in the room right now, okay? This is a guy that you guys are not going to think of, period. And that's why I love being a Northwest sports fanatic, because I love educating you guys and give you guys names that you probably would never think of. If you're a Niners fan, you probably wouldn't even think of this name as being the first or second or third name, okay? Most people, if you say breakout, you're thinking Dante Pettis or Goodwin or someone of that nature that, you think that might be able to take that next step. I'm going to give you a name right here. The number one breakout player that is going to be under the radar, not necessarily for fantasy, right? But he started to do big things as a rookie last year. Nobody knows this guy's name. After today, these people in this room, you're going to know who his name is. His name is Fred Warner, linebacker. Now, I know you guys are like, who? Who is that, right? For the Niners, 124 tackles, 85 solo, all right? He took the most snaps out of any linebacker as a rookie last year. He's great in coverage, right? He's a guy that Sherman really believes in, Richard Sherman for the 49ers, formerly of the Seahawks. He's going to be a guy that's going to be able to take the next step for that team, and I love it because he's just a lower name guy. So watch for the Niners if they end up making big moves and somehow, some way, they get closer to that 8-win range or more. You better believe Fred Warner is going to be a big part of it. If you don't really know too much about him, look him up. Play with him on Madden, you know what I mean? Maybe look him up on YouTube, but he's a lot better than people think. His coverage skills for a rookie last year were pretty good. I mean, most of the people, they're like, oh, it was George Kittle. He dominated. George Kittle this, George Kittle that. Yeah, he was great. But I'm talking about linebacker Fred Warner. Take a look. Took a lot of snaps, got the experience. He's more confident and prepared for this year, and he is my number one under the radar breakout player going into 2019. I know you guys were not expecting that, so I want to go up to the comments and just see what everyone is saying and welcome everyone, y'all, in the room. Jay Bands, he said, yo. Michael Pierpont, yo. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Saints drafted that safety this season. Expect big. DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel. They were Andre Dillard. What's up, my guy, Bryce Jackson? Since we're not talking about rookies, how about Keith Kirkwood, Traquan Smith, Aaron Jones? Well, I got you Traquan Smith there, so I'm not Pierce. I might have not got all of them, but I got one of them for you. Is he even going to start year one, Michael? Tyler Boyd better be on the list. Didn't Boyd break out last year? And I feel like he did. He will when Peters gets hurt. Byron Pingle will break out this year. Bryce Jackson, I see you. Javon Wright. DJ Moore. Don Shingo, all the way from Germany. He's like, dang, how does he know? Dallas Goddard is a great one. I already kind of felt that he started to break out last year. That's the only reason I didn't mention him. And I wanted to kind of deep dive for you guys and give you some names that you knew and some names that maybe you weren't familiar with, unless you're a fan of that team. But Don Shingo, all the way from Germany with a $2 donation. Dallas Goddard is one of those guys I really love because he's going to be able to learn so much from So Bad It Hurts Zach Ertz, right? Together, they're going to form one of the best tandem combos at tight end with O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate. I mean, I'm not sure if there's any other tight end combo besides those two that I just mentioned that are going to be able to dominate as well as those two. It's very possible that both tight ends will be able to get a good number of targets each game, a good number of yards each game, and it wouldn't surprise me either if both tight ends from the Bucs or from the Eagles get 7 touchdowns each going forward. I know that's kind of aggressive for maybe that second tight end, but we've seen what Cameron Brate can do. We've seen what O.J. Howard is going to do. He's another guy that's going to break out this year. Dallas Goedert is silently going to kind of be an assassin, and he's going to be like a ninja. He's going to be out there. People are going to be like Zach Ertz, double team, over the top. They're just going to be Zach, and then all of a sudden, boom, Dallas Goedert in the end zone, and he's going to help them win quite a few games, I feel. And then when they snagged him in front of the Cowboys, when Cowboys were wanting that tight end, what a sweeter way to kind of, stick it to him. Dallas Goedert going all the way to the Eagles fly. But that's a great one. All the way from Germany, Don Shingo. Appreciate the $2. Let's keep going. DJ Moore, great one. Damian Williams, I feel like he broke out last year, Cooper. He's going to be one of those guys in fantasy. If you have him as an RB number 2, you are going to kick ass all the way through. Even if you had him as your RB number 1, depending on how far you drafted down. As far as an offense is concerned, they're going to be the most explosive offense this season. That's big facts. They're going to score, I would assume, 30 points a game, probably almost every game throughout the whole season. There's going to be some games of 40, some games of 50. And you know what? If they play some shitty team that has a shitty defense like the Bucs, unless Devin White turns it around, you could throw up a 60 spot. They have all the pieces that you would want, but we just have to see the health of Tyreek Hill. Obviously got a little banged up with the quad today, but Damian Williams can do it all. And who would have thought after having Kareem Hunt and what happened with him and being such a great player and then having the issues, and now him on Cleveland, they got a guy with Damian Williams that can step up. But remember, it's not just Damian Williams. It's Andy Reid's system. Andy Reid can pretty much plug and play Charcandrick West. Anybody in the system, but if you get someone that's athletic, he'll take it to the next level. John Roberts, he says, yo, what it do, my guy? My hardworking salesman up in Washington with the Bills Mafia, just dropping facts and dropping information into my Twitter inbox so that I'm looking over with all the Bills information. I love it. Facts, Javon. How about Drew Brees? He hasn't shown full potential yet. Oh, you're hilarious. Nay, hilario. He's going to be great. 6 Inc. Obviously, I saw that you unsubscribed and subscribed, so I'm glad the notifications came on. For any of you that are in the room, if you had some issues with the notifications, if you have to unsubscribe and subscribe right back, or just flip it on, I would imagine you could do that too. Something's going on with YouTube. People are hating on the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Maybe we're a threat to certain people on certain channels. I don't know. All we do is grind and try to put out good content for y'all. I'm so happy you guys are here, though, to go over this with me. Jerick McKinnon, if he is good with his injury. Yeah, that is another, piece that, we're going to have to kind of wait and see. And they have a nice stable of running backs over there, too. It just depends on who you like the best. For me, Jerick McKinnon is more of like a second option, like a third down back. If McKinnon is your starter, you're fucked. And I'm just going to be honest there. I like Breida better, as a starter and McKinnon as a change of pace back. But who knows with Kyle Shanahan? Shanahan might just do whatever the hell he wants. But I think if McKinnon is a starter, he's going to get fucking blasted, and he's probably going to get hurt sooner than later, especially if he's already coming off an injury. He's just kind of a smaller body, running back. Same thing with like Tampa. You got like Ronald Jones, right? You got Peyton Barber. I mean, these are like third down options, second, third tier running backs. Why the hell are those guys starting? Because you don't have anyone else and you're dumb, and they should have drafted Josh Jacobs out of, freaking Alabama instead of the Raiders. But obviously Tampa, what can you do? I mean, I really was hoping that they would trade up and get someone like that, but, you can't win them all. But I do love Devin White. So let's see here. Madden 20. Oh, man, Cooper. Don't be making me jealous with that. Dante Jackson on defense. That's another one. I feel that he already is kind of making a name for himself, though. But if you're not familiar with the Panthers, or if you're not familiar with defense, I mean, I love defense, so that's already my number one. I always like following linebackers, D-ends, D-tackles, safeties, corners. I don't know, man. It's just, I'm not like everyone else. Everyone, it seems like they're just kind of like a follower. I love wide receivers. I love running backs. I love quarterbacks. Yeah, that's great. But I don't know. I'm the type of guy, the old school guy, you know what I mean? That like, I like those decleating hits where the, helmet pops off and, I don't want to give those guys a CTE, you know what I mean? And everything, but just like fumbles for touchdowns, picks for touchdowns. That's more exciting to me than just a traditional big play on offense, because it's just so unexpected. And then when it happens, it usually changes the momentum of the game. Block punts for touchdowns, just kick returns, special teams, just crazy stuff like that. I like that, the unexpected. Shaq Thompson for a full-time year starting. That's another one. Watched him a lot in college. He should be able to start to break out. I was watching a Madden 20 stream, and I agree. All right. And let's see what else is going on. Dante Pettis, another one. I got to see what Jimmy G's going to do. You know what I mean? What is Mullins going to do? What's going to happen with that roster? Is Jimmy G going to stay healthy? Are we going to have the Garoppolo effect? What team are we going to see from the San Francisco 49ers? That is the big question. That is going to determine the development of the other players. George Kittle, if he wants to move up to being the best tight end, even though he won't be better than Travis Kelce. I know if he has a couple more years in a row, there'll be a debate, but the only way that you're going to end up being nationally known better than so bad it hurt Zach Ertz and Travis Kelce, you're going to have to put up like back to back to back, like 12, 13, 14, 1,500 yards, right? And you're going to have to throw up, like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 touchdowns at the tight end position. And I don't know if he will be able to do that. And even if that was to be said and done, Travis Kelce still is going to be considered probably, the best tight end, if with Zach Ertz being right behind him, just based off consistency. But I do like what I'm seeing moving forward with Kittle, especially with working with a lot of the backups, and he got a lot of those stats, to kind of rise up to the cream of the crop. But one thing Kittle does have going for him with Pettis, Pettis can burn, right? And Kittle's the fastest tight end in football. He is a burner. He's almost like a cheat code. He's like a wide receiver in a tight end body, and that's big facts. Damon P. Aquadio, I see you. Fly, Eagles, fly. McKinnon has a lot of competition in the backfield. Big facts. They have so many guys back there. It's like the Eagles. Instead of the Four Horsemen, it's like the NWO, brother. New world order. How many running backs do the Eagles have? They have like 6. Who knows who knows who's starting for them? You know? Jordan Howard, Miles Sanders. Who else? All the rest are all scrambled in there. Adams, Darren Sproles. I mean, they got plenty. Smallwood. They got all the backs, so it's going to be crazy. Let's see. They rank Julio and AB higher than Michael Thomas. Well, of course. I expect that to happen. You know what I mean? It's biased. I truly think Josh Allen for the Bills will break out. He's got an extremely great arm. I do. I think he's underrated. Like I said, in one of the videos I did, I have him as like one of my most underrated players that's really going to take off in Josh Allen. But actually, both Josh Allens are going to do great. It's going to be awesome moving forward. But the Bills, if they want to take the next step, they're going to have to get good production and they're going to have to get good protection, for him to be able to show the accuracy of that arm. And then obviously they have a little stable of running backs for the Bills as well with a good defense. So we're going to see how that goes. By the way, Sidney Jones is definitely under the radar from UW, a guy that got injured. People kind of forgot about him. We'll see what he can do. The roster is getting deeper and deeper. You're just silently adding guys like Malik Jackson, deeper. I saw a great video with Malcolm Jenkins today breaking down tape where Brian Baldinger. Damon, did you see that? I watch everything Eagles. I'm just Eagles everywhere. I'm watching them every day. I know Marcus probably gets upset because he's a Redskin guy or whatever. I don't care. I mean, that's your competition. You got to watch it. But he knows, but I watch everything Eagles. Everything Saints, every team, everybody, I watch it. But it's a great little breakdown with Baldinger. If you ever watch Baldinger break down tape with any of the athletes, it's a must watch. It really makes you smarter. It really lets you see what the players see. And Baldinger knows how to break down the tape. So you definitely got to check that out. Getting it whenever GameStop sends an email. All right, so Damon is going to be MIA for a while. I hope not playing Madden. You can multitask, play Madden, and come on in the stream. Let's see here. I feel people are sleeping on Damian Williams. He was just as good as Hunt when he played. He did so good, though, towards the end of the season. If you picked him up in fantasy, you rode it all the way to the playoffs and either won your league or got top 3 like we did in our league. Damian Williams is a guy. It's Andy Reid's system. But he is a guy that has good vision. He can hit the hole. He has great yak yards. He can take a hit. And like I said, even though Kareem Hunt was a special talent, right, when he came in, Damian Williams can be that same type of guy. And with Joe Mixon's, injury issues on Cincinnati, if you're going to be picking a running back somewhere between 6, in the first round to 12, there'll be a couple wide receivers taken. Maybe someone will take a gamble on Kelsey at 1. You'll be able to get Damian Williams, in that later first round, early second round. But if you have him as an RB number 2 with already a nice RB number 1, you're gonna fuck shit up, especially with that Kansas City offense. You're gonna score a lot of fucking points. Julio and AB are better than Michael Thomas. That's in your opinion. I think Michael Thomas is better than Julio. That's big facts. I can count on him to be able to run the routes and be able to get in the end zone. Most receptions in the first 3 years in NFL history. Like I said, the only knock I have on Julio can get the yards. Julio can get the receptions, right? He does get double covered, a lot. But if you only get, if you get 113 receptions, 1,600 yards, and you get 6 TDs, right? And then the comeback with Falcon fans and people that love Julio, well, he gets double covered. Well, fucking Calvin Johnson got fucking triple covered. Did you ever see him throw up stats like that with a 5 or 6? Get the fuck out of here. I mean, Julio, I deserve more. Everyone deserves more. You're such a physically gifted athlete. 6 fucking TDs in a 16-game season. Come on, man. Really? You know what I mean? Think about it. Michael Thomas, more valuable. AB, more valuable. DeAndre Hopkins, more valuable. You can have a personal preference. It's not like I have Julio out of a top 5, but if I had a choice, I'm going DeAndre Hopkins 1. I'm going Michael Thomas 2, AB 3, Julio 4, and there'll be other people that are right nipping at his heels. Mike Evans and a few of these other guys. They're not that far behind. We'll see what Odell does this year, even though he's inconsistent. Julio is consistent, when he, can stay on the field. Does kind of have a history of getting banged up from, a few times a year. Misses only usually a couple games at a time. But I feel as far as clutch wide receiver. I'm not sure if he's got the clutch gene. You know, it's like when you get guys at the end of the game in the NBA. Kyrie Irving, for the most part, is clutch, right? He helped LeBron win a championship. Kevin Durant, when healthy, is clutch, right? Sometimes guys like Russell Westbrook, right? Not as clutch, right? I mean, a guy that can pad his stats and get triple doubles, trying to win with James Harden, in Houston, they have a great chance of winning the title next season. But certain guys are gamers and certain guys are game winners. Kobe Bryant, clutch. MJ, clutch. You know what I mean? There's a different level of Mamba mentality, the intensity. You know what I mean? I just feel that Julio, even though, he's from Alabama, freak, body, freak athlete, I just think other guys are better. Now, you can come at me and come up with some other facts on why you think Julio's better, but I think a lot of people that think Julio's better than Michael Thomas or AB, you're doing it based off name recognition. You're doing it based off Madden. You're doing it based off the people on ESPN telling you that Julio is better. But if you watch the tape, like really watch the tape, you'll be proven wrong. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it, Julio to me is not as good as he could be, especially with the way his body is. He's so physically gifted, like Megatron. Julio should be scoring 10 fucking touchdowns almost every season. And if he doesn't get 10, he should be at 9. There's no excuse to have 5 or 6. That's my personal opinion. Do with it with what you want, but that's my personal opinion. Other guys are better. AB, run routes better hands. DeAndre Hopkins, better hands, better route running, shittier quarterback until you got Deshaun Watson, gets it done, better overall player. Michael Thomas, you could say it's Drew Brees. Watch when Drew Brees leaves, right? And then if it's Bridgewater, the next guy, Michael Thomas will keep doing it. It's big facts. Fletcher Cox should be number 5. Pierpont, you're hilarious. Dallas Goedert. Don Shingo from Germany. Cooper, I got Madden last night. Pringle or Demarcus Robinson will break out. Bryce Jackson, see how like you just throwing out names. You know what I mean? Bro, how much lives did I miss? You funny, Michael Thomas got them both killed. Cox is still so underrated. Fletcher Cox is always going to be underrated. It's just, some guys are bigger names. You know what I mean? But the thing is, I think in Philly, I mean, obviously, you know how valuable he is. I mean, besides him, right, and Malcolm Jenkins on the back end, who else is more valuable on that defense? I mean, when Derek Barnett is healthy, but we're talking about vets that have been there, for as long as they have. Fletcher Cox is one of the best football players I've seen, period. First ballot Hall of Famer, period. I hope he plays a long time. You know what I mean? And if they're going to get to the NFC Championship game and win another championship, Fletcher Cox is going to be a big reason because of it. Javon Wright, I can't wait for the season. Fuck yeah. I can't wait for it either. Thursday. It's going to be fucking insane. I'm going to go live. So if you guys want to hop on here, I'll be in here. Marcus may or may not. I'm not sure what his schedule is, but I'll do the whole game. And if you guys want to be in here, we can watch it together. I'm going to try to do as many as I can and just, interact with you guys. I'm not Pierce. I'm scared the Saints need to sign Michael. They'll be fine. You know what I mean? Everyone is just, it's a trickle-down effect. It's called the domino effect. It's like Zeke is waiting. Everyone is waiting just to see what each guy gets paid. And then you're looking at what the other guys got paid at the position. Michael Thomas understands how important it is to be there because if he's not there, if Zeke's not there, the chances of the Saints making the NFC Championship game and Dallas making the championship game go away. That's just big facts. If Michael Thomas does not play, right, if Zeke does not play, right, you guys could still make the playoffs, possibly, more probably for the Saints than Dallas. If Dallas doesn't have Zeke, you're not making the playoffs, right? But if the Saints can't guard Mike, with Drew Brees and Kamara and Drew being able to make everyone else better, you still have a better roster overall, I think, on the offensive side of the ball where you could score enough still, right? But it'd be a lot harder, but you'll be fine. He'll be in there. You know what I mean? He knows, how important it is, especially for Drew, 40 years old. They're one of the favored teams to go. The Nolans Saints, fly, Eagles fly, my 2 favorite in the NFC. Rams and a few others will be competing too, but, we'll have to kind of see how Gurley's knee is and everything else. How do you feel about Kuechly ranked 24? Absolute bullshit. I think Kuechly being ranked 24 when they had, Stephon Gilmore like at 22 and they had like fucking Kelsey at like 21. Are you kidding me? I mean, you got the best fucking corner, the best, tight end. arguably the best linebacker not named Bobby fucking Wagner. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess this is done by the players, but a lot of those guys I'd have, within the first 18. I know it's like players, there's over 500 or 600 players, in the NFL. So I get it. To be in the top 100 is a very special honor. I get it. But I mean, I'm not voting. But I think Kuechly's amazing. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is Carolina Panthers, hashtag keep pounding. I mean, besides him and Run CMC, I mean, they run shit. I mean, Cam Newton is the most popular, right? But to me, the best players on the team are Luke Kuechly and Run CMC. And that's how it's going to be moving forward. Cam can be the third best, you know what I mean, if he can stay healthy. But to me, he doesn't compare to those other two. Those other two are on just a whole nother freakish level. And like I said, if Run CMC can continue to do what he did last year and the year before and keep getting better and better, I mean, he might lead fantasy when it's all said and done. PPR league or standard. He's that damn good. I like him a lot. He's going to be picked number 1 or number 2 in most leagues. It's either Saquon, Run CMC, Run CMC, Saquon. Maybe a little Alvin Kamara sprinkled in. If Zeke can get into camp, then maybe he'll be in the top 4. But Run CMC's ability, just like the other guys, to catch out of the backfield takes their game to a whole nother level. Extra yards, extra points, extra touchdowns. Let's see here. Y'all take Saints fan head too far. You're funny. I don't see Bears being as good as last year. I don't either. Their defense, though, is amazing. Even though they lost Amos, they got HaHa Clinton-Dix. I was looking at their defense on paper. It's incredible. Their secondary is still one of the best in the NFL. And you got Khalil Mack. You got Akeem Hicks. I mean, you got plenty of pieces. The thing that concerns me, I love Nagy at coach, right? The kicking situation for kicker concerns me, right? They got Montgomery at running back as a rookie and Tariq Cohen, so the running back situation looks a little bit better for me. But what about the wide receiving core and the tight ends? What about the line? You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's like Vikings could get better and move up. Green Bay, depending on Aaron Rodgers and LaFleur, how that works out, who knows? They're going to be like a married couple and start bickering. They could slide up or slide down. We don't know. And then Detroit could, maybe surprise a few people. I don't know. Detroit's going to be the bottom feeder looking up, but with like Hawkinson at tight end, picking up Mike Daniels, having a nice front 4 on defense, big play slay on the back end, they're still going to be considered the weakest team. But there's always a first to, worst to first. I'm not saying it's going to be Detroit, but there's going to be a lot of competition in that division. And I could see the Bears scaling back just a little bit. Defense will be lit. Offense maybe not so good. And if they come into games with Green Bay, Minnesota, and Detroit, and it's tied, and they need a field goal to win, and you don't even have Parkey there, and you should have stuck with him, even with the heartaches and hitting the pole. Now you got guys off the street. You're going to lose some of those games. So I don't see the Bears being a Super Bowl contender, even though they have Khalil Mack and that elite D. I don't think Trubisky, they don't have enough. I don't have enough faith in Trubisky just yet. Bryce Jackson, Cooper, don't sleep. He was already getting off last year, and he'll be 5 in separation skills. Once got him. Rashad Penny. We'll see. That's another guy that to kind of keep an eye out for. CMC is going to go off. Oh, he already has been. Amazing player. I actually watched a special on him today. Javon, did you watch it? So he actually has other talents that he works with. He actually plays music. And it's cool to watch athletes and see what other hobbies they have. He plays the piano. He's really good. I don't know if you ever get a chance to see it, but I think it's on ESPN. But if you go through there or just look it up, Run CMC is a really talented guy. Went to Stanford, smart kid. It's cool to see guys being able to have other things other than football that they can turn to after football's over. But CMC is a real well-rounded kid. I mean, he's going to be, really representing Carolina for a long, long time. Damon P. Aquadio, take Lamar Jackson out of the pistol, and then he'll be able to go through his progressions. Right, but is Harbaugh going to do that? Could make it easier, for sure. John Roberts is like, I already told Orion this one. Trent Murphy is going to have a breakout season, fully recovered from surgery, and noticeable change in his attitude. If anyone knows Bills Mafia, it's John Roberts. So you got to trust what he says. That little boy ain't no Cam Newton. He better learn how to slide. Well, dude, you could even be as big as Cam Newton and get, beat the fuck up. I mean, look at Marcus Mariota and some of these other guys. You don't have to be the tiniest guy out there. Plus, Lamar Jackson's been lifting weights, all right? He's been pumping the iron, right? He's like 18 pounds heavier. So we'll see what, happens with him. I just don't know how good of an accurate, passer in the pocket he's going to be. Baker's better. Roethlisberger's better. Andy Dalton, at this point in their career, is better. So even though the Bengals are the worst team in the division, I mean, they're going to be relying on Mark Ingram, right? And Hollywood Brown, and hopefully being able to have Earl Thomas III do something. They're fucked. And then they're going to scale back. I mean, that's going to be big facts. Like I said, watching Baker tape and doing that reaction video made me really realize, like, if they can just get protection for him, he's sensational. Even if you hate the Browns or you think they're overrated, Baker Mayfield is a gamer. It's more than just the horns down, right? It's more than just the swag. His progressions on being able to put the ball in the right spot like Mahomes, even though they're two totally different quarterbacks, Mahomes has got more zip on the ball. Baker has nice touch. And that'll be something that'll keep getting better as his career keeps moving forward. Let's see. Six Ink. Do you think, Zeke will play this season? Yeah, I do. I mean, what are you going to do? Fucking stay in Cabo for, the whole season? I mean, I guess he could, but that derails the Cowboys' chances of, getting the NFC Championship game or even making the fucking playoffs if you don't have Zeke. Because I have them with Zeke, being the second best team in the NFC East. If Zeke doesn't play, the Redskins will take that second place spot. Big facts. And the Cowboys will scale back. You know what I mean? And they'll still have probably a similar record because the Redskins have some holes too, but they need Zeke desperately. But I still don't think that they're a Super Bowl team. I mean, I think they're a team that could get to the playoffs at like a 9-7, 10-6. But even though their defense is elite, I don't really trust Dak Prescott compared to Carson Wentz, Drew Brees, Rodgers, Russell Wilson. I mean, there's so many others that I trust, unless you have home field. If you have home field, then everything's kind of taken out the fucking window. Home field really helps, especially moving forward. Once you get past like the first, round, home field is everything. Still have some teams that upset on the road that are solid ball clubs. But once it gets to like the NFC Championship game, AFC Championship game, 9 times out of 10, that home team wins, regardless of who it is, because the crowds are just so fucking lit. This is off memory, Six Ink says, and not in order of 20 to 11. All right, cool, man. Appreciate you. Barkley, Saquon. All right, Elliott, Kamara, Thomas, Rivers, Wagner, Hopkins, J.J. Watt, Tyreek the Freak. And then the last one. Help me out, guys. Javon Wright, NFC playoff. Saints, 13-3. I don't think they won 13 games. I think like 12. Could be even 11. There'll be a lot of parity in this league. There's going to be some tough games too that they might lose when they deserve to win. One example, when the Nolans Saints go to Seattle, right? Saints, much better roster, right? They got better team. But when you go on the road, your team doesn't usually play as good. So in those games where, normally the Saints would win 9 out of 10, that could be a game where they drop, where Russell Wilson plays great, right? And the Saints have, a couple unfortunate turnovers and they end up losing by like 3 or 4. I mean, it could happen. So I think the Saints are going to win the division, but I don't think 13-3. I think, maybe like 11 or 12. Rams, 12-4, no way. The Rams are not winning 12 games this year. Not happening. They're going to win somewhere between 9 and 11, in my opinion, and then they'll win the division. Panthers, 11-5. You're saying that because you're a Panther fan. Wishful thinking, right? But if anyone goes 11-5, realistically, right, the Falcons probably have a better shot. And that's just not trying to be a hater. It's just with their roster, Falcons probably have a better shot to get 9 to 11 wins than the Panthers, because I don't know how Cam is going to look. New throwing motion, shoulder fucked up. Run CMC's amazing. Kuechly's amazing. Brian Burns, the rookie from Florida State, is going to be the shit, right? But if Cam can't throw, how are you going to win games? You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to rely on that defense forever. That's just what I'm saying. I don't think the Panthers are that far off. But, I mean, it could be a year where the Panthers go like 7-9, 8-8 if things don't go right. I mean, if things do go right, they're going to cap out at like 10. I don't think they can win 11 games, especially with Cam. Eagles, I think Eagles are going to win the division. 11-5 sounds kind of nice to me, so I feel there. Bears, 10-6, could be. Cowboys, Falcons, 10-6. I mean, Javon, you're on it a little bit. I mean, some of the wins are a little inflated, and like I said, we'll see how it goes. But, I mean, the NFL this season is going to be It's going to be juicy. It's going to be really, really kind of like up in the air. I feel that with the new rule changes too, with the pass interference, got to see how these refs call games too. Going to be really, really interesting. Andrew Luck, that's it. Godwin is a good choice. DJ Moore or Godwin. Orion knows big facts. 6 Inc. Thank you. Javon Wright. Witten is going to be garbage. Well, it can't be any worse than him in the booth. Him in the booth was garbage. It made my ears bleed. I almost started watching tennis and bowling because of him. Just kidding. I wouldn't do that, but Witten was bad. Javon Wright, why he left retirement for a team that doesn't have Super Bowl potential is beyond. Well, just going back to your team. You know, he misses football. He misses being part of the guys, you know. And I think about this. Who else would want him? No one. So that's why. Pineda, Yogi, my boy, Major Hollenbeck. Do you like two Texas Longhorns? I don't know if I like two. Do I like them? You know, I like some of their players that they've had in the past. You know what I mean? I'm not a Texas necessarily fan. I'm a Duck fan. If you haven't seen the Chain gang. But, you know, they've had a lot of nice quality pieces over the years. A lot of good memories. Javon Wright. If Snails had arthritis, it would be faster than Jason Witten and Stephen A. Smith. Hilarious. John Roberts, nice call. I knew him from Madden, though, so I watch every team except the Niners and the Bills. Well, guess what, Javon? You're going to have to start watching the Niners and the Bills, both sleeper teams that might make a name for themselves this season. And all over America, Cowboys fans everywhere cry. What up, boys? Michael Lawler, what up, my dude? Sorry, it took me a little time to get in the comments and shout you out. What is good, my dude? Barkley rated higher than Zeke Elliott. You got to be happy about that. I know I am. Well, I mean, if you think about it, though, too, with all the, you know, controversy and all the people hating on Zeke, I mean, he has led the league in rushing 2 out of 3 years. It's not like he's like a bum. You know what I mean? I love Zeke. I watched him at Ohio State, just taking the Cowboy thing totally out of perspective, just Zeke. You know, not Zeke on the Cowboys or Dallas or everything that goes along with that team, right? Just Zeke Elliott, the player. You know, anyone would want to have a player like that. I mean, on the off the field stuff, maybe not. You know what I mean? Him going to Cabo and doing not, you know, this and that. But as far as a running back, I mean, he is a top 4 running back in this league. And that's big facts, you know, and he has been for quite some time. Some people would say he's top 2. Others would say that he's the best because he can catch out of the backfield with the best of them. And you don't lead the league in rushing for, you know, nothing. So, you know, we'll have to see where it goes with him. And Saquon was great. Right, and he won Rookie of the Year. But if you're looking at like as far as like all around back or Sports Center back, Zeke is the all around back. Right, he's been doing it longer. You know, Saquon is kind of like the freak Sports Center back. You know what I mean? But I feel that he hasn't really learned all the things that Zeke can do as far as catching out of the backfield. AK-41 is better than Saquon catching out of the backfield. Run CMC is better catching out of the backfield. So as great as Saquon is, he needs to catch up in that aspect of his game to those other 3 if he wants to be able to ever be recognized as the best running back. And that's big facts. Michael Lawler, under the radar breakout players. Damian Williams from the Kansas City Chiefs, Chiefs Kingdom. Kalen Ballage, Christian Kirk, Chris Herndon. Look at you just deep diving. Look at this. You just deep diving in the list. I love it, man. I was pretty happy about it. Dwayne says Ronaldo is a GOAT. Wrong sport, wrong chat, but I guess I'll take it. What makes Barkley so awesome is that his good class on top of his running skills. Respect the hell out of him. Tab Black, keep pounding, Panther Nation. Lawler says, I love Odell, but I do believe that Barkley is a good leader. Face of the franchise, he's a good soul. He's loved. Yeah. Amen, brother. Even Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram's a nice player. Evan Ingram is the fastest tight end. Kittle is more impressive, though, because he's huge compared to Ingram. I don't know, man. If Ingram and Kittle ran in a race, based off some of the highlight tape that I watched last year, Kittle might be faster than Ingram. I think Kittle's the fastest tight end in the league. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to go see the numbers if they have to get in a little shuttle. But, I mean, some of the runs that I saw Kittle, you know, do last season, he was running away from corners and safeties. You don't see that often. I'm not saying that Evan Ingram can't do that, but Kittle, long 50, 60 runs, you know, running away from, you know, guys that weren't running as long, you know, he's out of breath and he's still burning them by 5, 6, 7 yards. Damon P. Aqua Dio. I saw that video. I figured that play against the Jags was Jenkins improvised. Dude, that was awesome tape. I can watch tape with Baldinger and Eagles players all day long. I love that shit. That shit is great. Don Shingo, watch out for Kamu Kruger-Hill. Let's see, is that the linebacker from the Eagles, right? Oh, yes, watch out all the way from Germany. I got a notification on my phone. Don't know what it is. He good, Javon Wright says. Falcons fans know nothing. I disagree. Falcons fans know some things. They got some ballas. You know, Deion Jones. He's a balla. Vic Beasley used to be good, kind of a balla, right? They got some. Damon, I was on the game against the Jags. I saw the play live. Oh, nice. Tyreek Hill. West Brick. Yeah, Jimmy Buckets, clutch. Jimmy Buckets is pretty clutch. But you know what I'm saying when I was going over that clutch comment. Some guys are clutch and some aren't. Am I the only one who has the Lions picking in the top 5 in the 2020 draft? Yeah. I mean, I don't want to hate on them, but Dolphins, they're going to be bad. Cardinals, bad. Buccaneers, bad. Lions, bad. Care to add any others? Titans could be bad. I mean, they're, we'll have to just see where all the bottom feeders, fit. But again, worst to first, somewhere it's got to happen somewhere, at least once every season. Bengals, they'll be bad. You want to go to my worst top 5? I might have to make a worst top 5 in the league. Dolphins. Let's see here. Can you do Cam Newton highlights? Yeah, if I can find a package, that has good enough highlights to do, absolutely I can do that. I'll try to do highlights for everyone. I just want to make sure that, we have the time to get the other videos to marinate a little bit. But I mean, honestly, with my grind, I even if I work a full day at work, just talking with you guys, kind of re-energizes me. I could do 10 videos a day. No joke. I don't think there's anyone I feel on YouTube that has my kind of energy and passion and grind. I know Marcus can hang with me and we can do videos, but I mean, if I end up doing like 3 live games, on Saturday or Sunday, 9 hours straight, I think I'll prove to everyone how good the grind is, and it won't be shitty commentary. I'll give you live play-by-play and it'll be fun. You know what I mean? Most guys will do like 1 game, like Monday Night Football or, you know what I mean? But what if I'm doing 3 on Saturday and 3 on Sunday? I don't know if people can do that, but I feel I can do it. It just depends on if, people want to come in and hang out with your boy and get some knowledge. Let's see here. I'm not ready to give up on Ronald Jones. He was awesome at USC. Agreed. Expect him to make a leap. Agreed. Because Arians has to have him. If you have Peyton Barber starting, you're fucked. But both of those running backs are the same. They're too fucking small. I mean, it's one thing to be small and athletic like Work Done. They're nothing like Work Done. You know what I mean? It's like if Work Done had a clone, that ran into a brick wall. That's Peyton Barber and Ronald Jones. Come on. I need somebody better. Kenneth McClure, fly, Eagles, fly. I see you. Most wanted. Rams, 11-5. Seahawks, 10-6. Niners, 8-8. Cardinals, 4-12. It looks kind of right when you look at it, doesn't it? I mean, you look at it and it's, I can see that, I saw one in like USA Today that had the Niners winning the division. And then I was thinking to myself, do they actually have a chance? Do they know something that I don't know? Are the Rams really going to fall back to like 9 wins this season? Is it possible? Because I think they had like Niners 10-6, right? Winning the division. That would be just fucking insane, wouldn't it? Right? Then they had the Rams at 9-7, like a wild card or just like on the bubble. Okay. Then they had the Seahawks at like 8-8, and then the Cardinals at like 2-4 wins. So it's not like insanity, right? But maybe a year or 2 early for the Niners, but I don't know. I mean, if Jimmy G is healthy, maybe the Rams have an injury with Goff. Maybe Seahawks, have some issues with Chris Carson. It's possible, you know what I mean? But when I saw it at first, I was like, fuck, I don't know. I mean, just didn't really look right. But that's the great thing about the NFL. You could be surprised. I mean, you know what I mean? That's what makes it so great. A league of parity. It's always going to be a different team, You'll have still the front runners each year, but there's always a couple teams, as long as you get into the dance, baby, that top 6 in the playoffs, anything can happen. 6 Inc. What up, my dude? Romo. Definitely way better in the booth. Him and Gus Johnson would be the dream. Or, besides Ryan and Marcus. There you go, 6 Inc. Big props, my guy. You know what? Gus Johnson is my favorite college football guy to do things in the booth. He can make like eating a PB&J or making it exciting. I mean, his voice on college football, amazing. I used to like Keith Jackson a lot until he passed away. If you ever watch like Pac-12 games, on ABC football, he just had that old school voice like Madden and Summerall. I miss that. It's like gives you that college football feeling or that NFL, old school feel. But Gus Johnson, definitely the most energy. I feel like I kind of have that energy, just all in your face style, right? And then Romo, to me, he's my favorite. I mean, you might have not liked him as a Dallas Cowboy quarterback, but fuck, man, in the booth, right, with Jim Nantz doing play-by-play, right, because he's been doing it for so long, and then Romo with the color, and then obviously with the color commentary and being able to call plays and call where the ball's going and the exact routes, that's football. We haven't been able to see like Phil Simms or Boomer or all these other former QBs, that go in there and do it like him. He is the best. I love watching it. I'm an NFC guy, so he's not on NFC games, but if I flip to CBS and I'm watching AFC, really fun to watch. I know me and Marcus can make it entertaining. And if we go live, flip us on. I mean, we're going to be able to have the most exciting, duo as far as commentary. We're going to be able to bring, the live reaction, the play-by-play. I don't know how many beers or chips or dip we're going to be eating, wings, Buffalo Wild Wings, or what we're going to be doing. But we'll be able to put up the most entertaining commentary, and you're going to learn something. It's not going to be just a generic BS, from some of these other guys. Doesn't matter how good Zeke is, they ain't making the playoffs with the Birds in the East. Well, they could. Eagles could go 11-5. Dallas could go 10-6. You can get in the NFC at 10-6. It's doable. Especially if one team comes from the NFC West. Let's say it's the Rams, and Seattle doesn't get in. And they win 9. They don't get in, right? And then the NFC North, right? Let's say it's one team. Let's say it's, for example, Minnesota. And then you just have one there, right? And then you go to the NFC South and you get 2, right? You get Saints, maybe and Falcons, Saints, Panthers. There it is. It's possible. Cowboys could do it. And the Cowboys have like a top 5, top 10 defense. So if you have a good running game, a good O-line, and a good defense, that's the key to really having a great team. You got to actually have a quarterback that can make good decisions, right? But a lot of the great teams, they have great O-lines. Dallas has one of the best in the league, right? When healthy, right? Running back, one of the best, top 3, top 4, and their defense is top 10. I mean, it's proven. DeMarcus Lawrence, Byron Jones, Van Der Esch, Jalen Smith, Sean Lee, at times when he's healthy, they got pieces, but I'm not sure if I like Garrett at coach. I don't think he's very good, to be honest, but, his little love relationship with Jerry Jones, I don't know if that's ever going away, but let's see here. O-line goes a long way. It does. To me, in football, if it's the position on the O-line that it gets the least credit, but when you have a great O-line, you can win the championship like the Eagles did. When you find teams that beat teams that are like favored, like when New England was favored over the Eagles, or when you get these teams that maybe are underdogs, but they have the better O-line, it makes a big deal. It gives protection to the quarterback. It opens up bigger holes for the running back. It gives more time for the quarterback to make plays. You know what I mean? If you get, centers or guards that can pull left or right, the elite ones can do it, and it makes a difference in the running game and the passing game. People don't realize like how important it is to have like elite centers, that are calling the protections and the audibles. Having a great center is like, having a great quarterback or linebacker. It's like that important, but some, people don't know. You know what I mean? It just depends on if you know football and you're going way back. Put Barkley behind Zeke's O-line, and he leads the league in rushing easily. Not discrediting Zeke, though, but he's still hard to bring down. Yeah, but also, too, Zeke, what makes him great is he's able to, be a great pass catcher out of the backfield. Saquon's not there yet. You know what I mean? And Zeke eats. He go, yum, 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 right? He eats, right? He gets first downs, right? I mean, to me, honestly, like, as far as like all around backs too, if you're talking like, 1,000, you have like the Roger Craig, 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 receiving. It's almost impossible to do, right? Roger Craig, Marshall Faulk, one of the, greatest running backs to ever suit up for the Niners. And obviously we saw Marshall Faulk with the Colts and the Rams, greatest show on turf. Alvin AK-41, the alien Alvin Kamara, probably has the best chance to do it. It just depends on the talent level. Obviously, if you have a great O-line, but we've seen Dallas's line get kind of banged up. Tyron Smith, Frederick. Not all their guys can stay healthy anymore. So we'll have to see where it goes. But Michael Lawler. Oh, you got a hot take. Okay, here's the hot take of the night from Michael Lawler. Let's hear it. Mike Trout is and will retire the single most talented MLB player of all time. Off topic, right? But I love Mike Trout. I'm an old school baseball guy. Ken Griffey Jr., right? Mariners. Sandy Koufax, my dad's favorite player. You know what I mean? I love history. Mike Trout is the living modern day Mickey Mantle. He may not be the greatest, single most talented MLB player of all time with like Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio. If you go back in Roger Maris, you look at all the greats that have ever played, Willie Mays. There's so many great players. But as far as players that are playing today and someone that could play today and play back then, Mike Trout is by far the best player in baseball and has been pretty much since he came into the league. I mean, you got pitchers that are solid, you know what I mean? But as far as all-around player, no one is better than Mike Trout. And they should market him more, you know what I mean? So he's got a face out there, kind of like LeBron and some of the people that they have in the NFL. Why they don't market him, I have no fucking idea. I almost went to go see him against the Mariners. I was going to take a friend to go, but he had a lingering like either quad or, leg injury. So I was like, I don't know if he's going to be healthy. And then I wanted to see Pujols, right? Because he's still one of the greatest players to ever play. And then I decided not to go because I knew that I didn't care if the Mariners are going to lose because I could have got really good seats, like, first 5-8 rows off first base. And then lo and behold, Trout hits a fucking home run. My buddy tapes it to me and sends it to me, and he's super close. And then Pujols hits a fucking home run in the game. I'm going to have to go see them. If they don't come back to Seattle this year, I don't think they do, but I'll have to check the schedule. But I'm definitely going to go see the Angels in Seattle next year, just so that way I can get up and close to see Trout. Amazing talent. And I'm close enough in Seattle where I'm only 3 hours away where I can actually go see a lot of Mariner games, which is exciting, which I'll be doing next week when I go see Seahawks Broncos preseason. And then I actually get to see Edgar Martinez bobblehead day against the Rays. I am super excited. I'll probably go live for both. And you guys will be able to see the seats. 4th row in the Broncos versus the Seahawks in the Bronco section. And then with my buddy, I might even wear a Peyton Manning jersey for my buddy to see if I can get him some swag from some of the Bronco players because he's so shy. And I know he probably won't yell down at him. But if I wear my Derek Brooks Buccaneer gear, I'm not getting anything from the Bronco players. But maybe if I have a Bronco jersey on just for that one day only to help my friend out, maybe I can get him an armband or something cool, and then he'll be grateful forever. So we'll see where that goes. And then the Mariner game, I'm going to try to get a foul ball. I got a foul ball against the Dodgers. Kiki Hernandez. I got bloody knee scars to prove it. You know what I mean? But I got a ball, and that was one of the best days of my life, getting a foul ball at an MLB baseball game. Nothing like it. But, that's another day and another video. Let's see here. Destiny Clips, Cam Newton. That scenario I brought up is a replica of Barry Sanders behind Emmitt Smith's O-line. Yeah, I mean, you definitely can go that route. But Barry Sanders, I mean, we're talking about 10 seasons, 10 Pro Bowls, leading the league, in rushing so many years, NFL MVP. I mean, Barry Sanders is the best player in NFL history to run the ball at running back. There's not very many guys that left the game early where he could have made another, 5 consecutive, Pro Bowls or, had that type of accolades. 10 years, 10 Pro Bowls at the running back position. I mean, you've seen Barry Sanders tape. There's nobody like him. And he was doing it with shitty linemen. He had like one good one. But you also can't knock Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith is still one of the greatest running backs to ever play. You just can't have that like cowboy hate. I know it's tough. It's tough to be like, fuck the Cowboys, fuck the Patriots. They're just so easy to point fingers and hate because they're just a hated team. If you're that fan base, you love them, right? Like almost when you're in denial mode when they're not good, because you're thinking of Troy Aikman, you're thinking of Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Dion when he was there, right? Or if you're the Patriots, you're like Tom Brady forever, right? But when those guys leave, it's not the same, but the fans still have those memories, when they were elite, and they had a special team. So, I mean, sometimes you have to just take the team out of it and just look at the player. Because even though Emmett, went to the Cardinals and, just try to keep going to be able to break the records, Walter Payton and Barry and all that. But I mean, Emmett's game was amazing. I mean, yeah, he had a great line, but you can't tell me that with Emmitt Smith, if his line wasn't as good, that he still wouldn't have been able to be one of the best running backs to ever live. Emmitt Smith was amazing. I watched him at Florida, right, before anyone else knew who he was. So I knew the talent that Emmitt had. It definitely helped having some of the best, compilations of O-linemen, assembled in that era. But Emmitt still would have been able to do big things, without all those guys on the line. It helped, but Emmitt Smith was still a fantastic player, and he still would have made the Hall of Fame. And that's big facts. He was that good. Let's see. I would love to see Tyler Lockett highlights. I love Tyler Lockett. Picked him in fantasy for Marcus. He didn't really know what I was doing, maybe, at the time, and I didn't know Dougie B was going to get hurt, but I knew Tyler Lockett. I just had a gut feeling that he was going to break out. He's going to have a great year this year. This is going to be Russell Wilson's number one guy moving forward. DK Metcalf, if he ever can learn how to run routes, he still won't be as good as Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett is a fucking gamer. I like him a lot. And I'm going to go see Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett versus my Bucks in November, and I'll probably go live for that, so that'll be exciting. You guys will be able to see that, and hopefully I can get some good seats for that game too. If you can, it would be amazing, 16 says, to see Demario Davis highlights by channel Who Dat for Life. Who Dat for Life's channel is one of the best as far as Nylon Saints highlights. Some of them are long, right, 20 minutes long. Oh, dog knows. I know, right? But, I mean, it just depends on, just the timing, with everything that's going down, you know what I mean? But I love Demario Davis. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? He's the glue. That's what I nicknamed him. He was the glue. Without him, you wouldn't have gotten as far, in the season. It was a great pickup adding him to the roster. In a couple days, we're going to have NFL football every week until the regular season getting hyped. I am so fucking hyped. Sad Panthers fan. Well, don't be sad. All right? You guys have a chance for the playoffs this season. Just got to get Cam Newton healthy. USA Today always has horrible NFL predictions. I agree. But sometimes they'll get a couple right. You know what I mean? Damon, P, Aqua, Dio. Right. But seeing the Niners, I was just like, you know what I mean? Am I missing something? You know what I mean? Like, what's happening here? Is everyone just gonna is Nick Bosa gonna play all 16 games and have a 20-sack season? I mean, is USA Today on something that I don't know? Is Pettis, gonna have 10 touchdowns and Goodwin's going to have 10 touchdowns and Jimmy G's going to have an MVP year and have 45? I mean, like, am I missing something? Like, but I doubt that's going to happen. But I'll tell you what, I really do love Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, and I think the Niners are going to compete in that division sooner than later. They're going to build a mini Atlanta Falcons roster, and I wouldn't be surprised in a couple years if they really honestly compete with Seattle and the Los Angeles Rams and end up taking over that division at some point. Seattle will scale back, and it'll be the Rams and the Niners battling. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Kyle Shanahan, McVay, Shanahan. Pew, 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 pew. I mean, it's just going to happen. Alfred Morris. Marcus is in the chat. What it do, my guy? I saw DeAndre running the routes and you throwing the balls to him, my guy. Wow. I mean, nice Odell Beckham grabs. He was out there just making N'Keal Harry grabs. I mean, we're going to have to do some highlight reels to your boy. I mean, he is a phenomenal talent. He's going to be the best on his team, more than likely. When he gets to high school, he's going to get recruited. We'll see where he goes in college, but if he keeps it up, he's going to have to work on, the discipline part of it, but you got him on that, man. I mean, you're doing the cone drill with him early, and as long as you're having fun with him out there, he'll have fun. He's going to keep getting better and better. His catching ability at his age is insane on how good it is. He's like a living mini version of Madden, right? As a young cat before even high school. Going to be really, really fun to watch in pads for Pop Warner. Damn, bro. As soon as I show up, you talking about the Eagles, shaking my head. I got to talk about everybody. It's funny. Curtis Samuel is going to have a big breakout season. He could. I think DJ Moore will have a bigger one. Saquon is a better pass catcher than Zeke. I disagree. I think Zeke is better. That's big facts. It could be worse. Y'all could be in the same division as the Cowboys as well. Oh, wait. 6, my guy. He's funny. Sorry, could not resist. Damon P. Aquadio. Eagles are the only team in the NFC East with no drama. Well, for now. We'll see where it goes. But, yeah, I mean, at this point, there is no drama. They look pretty solid. Marcus and Damon, you're funny. Counting the days until what does it say here? Counting the days until we beat your team. That's going to be a good matchup. I can't wait. Let's see here. It says Jordan Howard about to go crazy behind that Eagles O-line. William Stewart says. I'm actually looking more forward to Miles Sanders, to be honest. As great as Jordan Howard could be, I just have this kind of hunch that maybe Howard doesn't make it all the way through the season. I don't want to say he's going to have an ACL or anything like that, but I'm just saying with the depth that they have at running back, if something happens to Howard, you'll be okay. But Miles Sanders and collective unit, even if Howard just goes out for a couple games, it'll be nice to be able to see the other guys get a chance. Maybe not in that regard where someone has to get freaking injured for the other guys to get the playing time. Hopefully they can just rotate the carries. But when you have 6 running backs, you got the whole NWO, Wolfpack out there, at running back, it's going to be tough to choose who you play. With the first overall pick in the 2020 draft, the Miami Dolphins select Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback, Alabama. Damon, you're funny. Why do you think the Eagles going to win D? Why do you think the Eagles are going to win the D? Here's my Cowboys fan impression. We damn boys, we going to Super Bowl. Oh man, just a hunch. Well, yeah, I mean Tua is going to be probably the favored, quarterback to go. But I think Justin Herbert with his size, depending on how good he plays this season, he's got the prototypical NFL body, 6'6", 240. Tua's a little smaller, you know what I mean? But obviously we saw Kyler Murray, this season get picked, smaller guy. I love lefties. I always hope Tampa tanks and I get Tua or we trade up. I want him. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is nice. I mean, there's going to be a lot of guys. I want to see, not that he's going to be a good NFL player, but like Jalen Hurts, at Oklahoma. I mean, there's going to be so many guys. Jake Fromm, Georgia. I mean, college football is going to be so much fun to watch. I can't wait to watch. Every single time I say Tua's last name, I start with tongue, and I don't know why. Tua Tagovailoa. Tongue. He said Tagovailoa. Man. Yeah, so we'll have to see. So let me go over the list real quick just for the people that came in here so we can kind of go over, some of the pieces that I said. If Marcus, are you still in the room? You still in here, my guy? Herbert would be a top 5 to 10. Right, unless he has a breakout season. If the Ducks end up going, to a top 4, or if they end up, having a little bit better record. All right, so here's my top 5 breakout players, all right? So you'll agree with some of them and some you're not. So check this out, all right? So my honorable mention was Terrell Edmunds, safety for the Steelers. I know you probably wouldn't have that. I'm deep diving, ready? I'm digging for us, going deep, right? Pairing him up with Devin Bush, really improved last season. Everyone knows his brother on the Bills, the linebacker, right? But what about Terrell Edmunds, the safety for the Steelers? Big impact guy. He's going to make a big difference on the Steelers. And I think that with him, right, moving forward, they have a good chance of winning that division, right? And trying to hold off Cleveland Browns, all right? And then as we go through my list, 5 is like, okay, I knew that pick. But then as it gets towards 1, you'll be surprised. So my number 5, Lamar Jackson. Because I feel that even though that he will break out, I still have concerns on his pocket awareness, his accuracy, him getting down, right, and not, getting fucking blasted and injured. But his stats were so low from last year, he will break out. He is going to be someone to keep an eye on moving forward. Even if they scale back and get 3rd in the division, his numbers should improve drastically. Number 4, one you'll already know of, a guy that's one of your favorites, Marcus, Chris Godwin, right? So Chris Godwin, 59 receptions, 842 yards, 7 TDs in 2018, 1 TD in 2017 with a garbage Jameis Winston, right? This season, 70 receptions, right? 1,000+ yards, 9 to 11 TDs. I'd love to say 12 or more, but Jameis, right, eating those W's is not good, right? But I do see him breaking out in fantasy. We might have to pick him up. I do like him. And that was a good one for us at number 4. Number 3, Michael Gallup, right? That's my guy. Reason that Djax is gone. Exactly, right? Michael Gallup, 33 catches, 507 yards, 2 TDs. I mean, that's going to be really easy to improve. He can go to 50 catches even with Dak, even if he's inaccurate, 507 to 800 or 900, and he easily can go from 2 to 4 to 6 touchdowns. That's big facts, right? So that's getting a little bit trickier. Number 2, you're going to like this one, Marcus. Tre'Quan Smith. You like that one? Second year going in with the Saints. First option, can't guard Mike. He needs to get in the building. Second option, Alvin Kamara. Third option normally would be Jared Cook, but if it's not, Tre'Quan Smith could break out, right? Right. Great deep guy, Gallup, right? Gallup is a guy that people are sleeping on. I've seen his maturity has gone to the next level. I watched him in camp. He's doing a couple interviews. I was watching his route running, right? He's a lot more confident this season. He is going to make a big difference with that team. And if you think Randall Cobb is going to be better than him, you're fucking dreaming, right? They got rid of some of those other guys. He did, yeah, right? You remember, right? He did, right? So Michael Gallup, Tre'Quan Smith, right? My number 1 top under-the-radar breakout player. You're never going to guess it. You know who it is? Number 1 for the San Francisco 49ers. If you would say, okay, who would that be? Would it be Goodwin, right? Is it going to be Pettis, right? You said Smith is next, right? It's not going to be Smith. The number 1 underrated breakout player, right? Fred Warner. I'm deep diving, big guy. Rookie linebacker last year. He took the most snaps, 1,060 at the linebacker position, right? He is a guy that I feel that is going to break out, right? He had a pretty good season last year, 124 tackles, 85 solo. He's great on pass coverage. I go deep diving, baby, and he is going to be a big reason moving forward once they actually can get a few more pieces that they're going to compete in the NFC West. What do you think about that? I'm deep diving. Fred Warner. I know you didn't think of that one. I'm deep diving, big guy. Northwest Sports Fanatics. Me and Marcus, we're on it. It's not about just the relevant and the obvious. We're deep diving, baby. But, yeah, Don Shingo, $2 donation. Dallas Goddard. That is another great one, you know. Lots of deep dives moving forward. But I'm really excited, obviously, moving forward with the season coming up on Thursday. If there's any other questions that you guys want to answer or ask, I'll get into those. I've got probably about 9 more minutes. It's been about an hour and 20 so far. I need to go work out and get a little exercise into the system, but then I'll probably call it a night, let this marinate. But I wanted to go over kind of a deep dive. You ready for Newton? Cam Newton. Next to you, man, in San Francisco and linebacker. Yeah, Quan Alexander. Yeah, the thing is no one knows who he is. And so when I started deep diving and watching the tape, I was like, damn, this guy's pretty good. And Richard Sherman talks so highly of him. And Sherm isn't the same player as he was in Seattle, Marcus, you know. But when I saw the tape, it just like flew off the page to me for a rookie. And he played the most snaps out of anybody at the linebacker position. 1,060. Fuck, that's putting in work. It just leaps off the page on some of the guys. I'm stoked for Thursday. I will slow down with the insults. Don't worry. All right, here we go. J Creations. Kenny Golladay. Love that one. But I felt like Golladay broke out last year. So I don't really think he's a sleeper. I already respect the hell out of him. Better than Marvin Jones. Best weapon that Detroit has on offense, right? Kenny Golladay, right? You got Kerryon Johnson. Obviously, you got Hawkinson coming in to be like Gronk 2.0, right? But, Golladay is a guy that I feel he's already kind of solidified himself. I watched him in preseason a couple years ago, and I was like, who is this guy? And then now everyone knows who Kenny Golladay is for the most part, if you're a sport fanatic. One of my actual favorite players in the entire league, even though he's on the Detroit Lions, and, a lot of people don't have a whole lot of love for the Lions. Like, they don't have a lot of love for the Bucks, and it's just kind of, who's your favorite team? The Bucks, and they do this. You know what I mean? They either laugh or shake their head. But at some point, the Lions will be good. They got to be. Arizona will be good. Tampa will be good. At least we can pray. We can hope, Do you think Kerryon Johnson, J Creation said, could have 1,000-yard season? He will have 1,000-yard season. He's going to have a better season, than when you had your other running backs in the past. Reggie Bush. I mean, you really want to have him hold the records down, for Detroit? You need to have a solidified stud at running back. I wish Tampa Bay had a Kerryon Johnson. I mean, I'm not, fully giving up on Ronald Jones. He looks better in camp right now. But Kerryon, as long as he can stay healthy, definitely over 1,000 yards. If I had to take a guess, I would say somewhere between 1,000 and 1,200. And then as far as touchdowns, maybe like 8. Kind of has a nice ring to it. You know what I mean? He could get double digits touchdowns. It just depends on how they use Hawkinson, and then how good the defense is going to be. If the defense can keep them fresh, you know what I mean? So they're not on the field all the time, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, then, everyone's stats are going to be a little bit better. Panthers fan, Deion Buchanan is underrated. I agree. Dante Jackson is underrated. I agree. Dante Jackson is up and coming. Panthers fan, oh, hell no, sad Panthers fans, even when we lose. No, we keep pounding. Apparently, Hawkinson is killing it in training camp. He hurt 4 of the Lions' D linemen. Oh, really? Wow. Like I said, we just did a video earlier today, me and Marcus, talking about breakout rookies. He is the most, probably, as far as like up-and-coming tight end that I've been the most excited about to see. I mean, Noah Fant and him, obviously, at Iowa, we're going to see what each one of them does for the prospective teams. Obviously, you got Noah Fant for Denver, and then we got Hawkinson for Detroit. But, I mean, we saw the whole, Eric Ebron kind of disaster and catastrophe. Couldn't catch the ball worth of shit with Matthew Stafford, right? And then all of a sudden, he just goes with Andrew Luck, and he's like a different player. He like goes from like 1 or 2 or 3 touchdowns to like 10. Like, how did the hell did that happen? You know what I mean? But with Hawkinson, he's a great blocker. He's physical. He's got good footwork. He's got good hands. He's got good placement with his hips. So I feel that he has like the total package. He's the best tight end in the draft. That's already a no-brainer. But he can end up being like one of the best tight ends in the league within the first couple years. Like, I think he could end up placing himself in the top 5 category, getting close to like Ebron and OJ Howard and some of these other guys. He may not be right away as good as, Travis Kelce or, so bad it hurts Zach Ertz or Kittle, right? But I mean, who knows? In a few years, he might end up being right in the mix with those guys, and I wouldn't be shocked. Definitely love him as a tight end moving forward. Let me see here. A lot of the comments are starting to come in. Let's see. Jameis Winston going to eat some more W's. Damon, P, Aqua, Dio. How's he going to eat them, though? Like this? Like that? Is he going to eat them like that? And then everyone looks at him like he's a fucking just crackhead. You know what I mean? And then they just stop listening. You know what I mean? I'm just so sick of Jameis, bro. Like, I'm just done. I'm just so done with Jameis Winston. I don't want to be rooting for him anymore. I've never bought his jersey. Fitzmagic was great, but as his age was creeping up, you knew that wasn't the long-term answer. He's going to get better this season, and if they offer him money, I can't just quit supporting the Bucs, but fuck. I mean, it's just not a good situation. Work done. Great player. One of my favorites of all time. Mike Allstott was better, though, as far as like running backs that Tampa Bay ever had. But that 1-2 combo, Dunn and Allstott, no, amazing. A-train. Marcus, let me guess, Cowboys winning it this year again. The Cowboys are not winning it. Let's see here. Sad Panthers fan. If we go 0-16, I'm going to still keep pounding. Panthers fan till the end. Well, at least you ended up, going to the playoffs sooner than later. Imagine not going to the playoffs since 2007. Probably wouldn't be feeling too hot being a Buccaneer fan like myself. But, yeah, you just got to keep going. I have to say that keep pounding is the perfect slogan for the Panthers. Connects the Mascot TV and this sport very well. I do believe he still led the league in drops. He did have a lot more opportunities when Jack Doyle went down last year. Yeah. I mean, he still needs to hit that jug machine. And obviously with Doyle going down, you know what I mean? That definitely gave him more opportunities. But maybe it was a blessing in disguise because now TJ Hawkinson's there and he's going to end up killing it. You know what I mean? Sorry, I typed V instead of space. Football IQ for Hawk is fire. Agreed. Marcus knows. We do our research. I'm going to watch some tape of him from Iowa probably tonight before I go to sleep, just to kind of see how his progressions are, through each down, how hard he plays when he's not getting the ball. I like to see that type of thing and that effort. I still remember D-Jack's face when he did that. Me too. What an idiot. Freaking Jameis. Would you like if the Bucs sucked for 2 years and then took Trevor Lawrence? Absolutely. I've already sucked for how many years? 11? 07, right? You know what I mean? I want my franchise guy. If I could suck for 2 more years, even if Arians got fired, right? Bowles took over, and then I ended up getting like the first pick and got Trevor Lawrence, and I was set for 10, I would take it. I would take that. because I've already been in misery forever. I mean, like I said, I'm a Duck fan, so it's like this, up and down. Mariota, Herbert, it's, you know what I mean? You don't know where it's going. Mariners, it's like this, right? You know, every time it's like the beginning of the season, you're like, oh, Mariners might do good. And then like it hits the All-Star break, right? Just a big skid mark all the way to the end, right? Blazers, normally it's kind of like this. And then this year, West Finals, that was awesome, right? And now we have actually some potential with signing CJ where we should be a top 6 in the West contender. But out of all my teams, I mean, Blazers, Ducks, Buccaneers, Mariners, most of my teams are not good. So, I mean, there's a lot of, long seasons, you know what I mean? But that's what it's, about being a sport fan. When these teams end up being good, like if the Mariners end up making the playoffs, how happy am I going to be? You know what I mean? My dad's a huge Dodger guy. I root for the Dodgers. That's like my second team because it's my dad's favorite, and I follow him. And he watches every single Dodger game, which is crazy, 162, playoff, everything. And he watches all of them. I went to his house for the weekend. Fun to watch. Definitely a lot better than the Mariners. But I wouldn't mind if the Bucs sucked for a couple years if I get Trevor Lawrence. I like Trevor Lawrence. Justin Herbert has some potential. I don't know what kind of pro he's going to be, but I mean, at the beginning of the season when I watched him, when I went to those 4 games against the shittier teams, he looked great, as you should, as a quarterback, right? But if you're like a Heisman hopeful and then you start playing the tougher teams in the Pac-12 and then your accuracy kind of hits the shitter and hits the fan, it's kind of alarming. And that's why he came back to school this season to kind of tighten that up and get better. Because if he would have went into the draft, I think he would just got massacred this season if he was starting somewhere. So he still needs to get better. I like Tua Tagovailoa the best. I like lefties. Mark Brunell, Michael Vick, my favorite, Steve fucking Young. You know what I mean? If I could have someone like that for the Bucs, Alabama, Tampa, kind of that general area, get a little swag, Tua, it'd be kind of nice. I think, Trevor Lawrence would probably be my second. And then, Herbert or someone else, you know what I mean? But Tua to me would be like dream come true. But, I mean, if he probably will go to Miami because Miami's not very good. So, Panthers fan, how much do you deadlift? What kind of question is that? Oh, hilarious. Funny how Jameis didn't eat the W that day. Major contradiction. Well, no shit. It's like when he says something, right, it goes in that one ear, out the other, like deaf ears. When Drew Brees fucking says something, their eyes are like this. Right? Everyone is like paying attention and their eyes are like, yeah, I'm going to run through a fucking wall for you. When Jameis talks, like everyone's like, all right, where are we going for dinner? Like, what the fuck is this guy saying? You know what I mean? Like no one gives a shit. Like they're just like ignoring him. They're on their phones, like, and on Snapchat or like Instagram. Like, I don't know. He's just done too many bonehead things for people to take him serious. Stealing the crab legs, thinking he's entitled, grabbing asses, jumping on tables and saying fuck her in the pussy and just being like this little 15-year-old kid. Dude, you could have been pro in baseball, right, and football. Why the fuck are you acting like that? And then you've had time to mature and you're still not mature. Grabbing an Uber, driver's ass, trying to get a fucking burrito. What the fuck are you doing, dude? Really? Like, great way to, represent the organization, you fucking idiot. But if you went with Mariota, I mean, he probably would have got banged up with all the injuries and the team had not very much talent. I mean, you have some talent with like Mike Evans and some of these pieces, but no running game, right? No O-line and the shitty ass defense. But I have hope with Devin White and this coaching staff. This is the most excited I've been in years, to be honest, because I know what it takes. If you have, Tony Dungy and Gruden, Monty Kiffin, it all starts at the top. So if you have a good GM, good coaching staff, it'll trickle down to the players. But if you don't have those in place, you're going to fucking suck and suck for a long time. And that's big facts. Let's see here. Who is going to be in the top 10 for the top 100? Well, obviously Patrick Mahomes. We already know that. Bro, I pulled a Tyreek Hill in a Chiefs gold player pack. No, you didn't. Ryan Schrick, did you really? Holy shit. Actually, Vincent Testaverde for the starting job in Tampa. Don't say that, Damon. I saw that in the article today. Damon P. Aquadio with the troll on Orion. Oh, man. If his dad couldn't do it in Tampa, obviously his son can't fucking do it. You're hilarious. Panthers fan, did you know that McCaffrey was 42 in the top 100? Like if Kamara should be right beside him, but no, the NFL rides his dick, his D. Coming from a Lions fan, I feel you. Hey, You're in the same boat, man. Like I like to root for those like underdogs. Normally it's like me and Marcus are in that same boat where his team has, gotten better, and then he had the RG3 phase. So at least he had the joy of making the playoffs. I haven't had that. So it's like if you're like a Cardinals or a Lions or Tampa Bay, it's like, fuck, man, every fucking year, 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5, 3, like, fuck, dude, like, can we, and I don't want necessarily like the other teams to get injured for me to move up. I want to like legitimately compete. I don't want to have Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, and Drew Brees tear ACLs, and then Tampa just by default gets to the top. That doesn't mean anything to me at that point. You know what I mean? Like, you'll take it, but, if you don't have a battle-tested, NFC South, regular season where you go like 5-1 against the division or 4-2, you're going to get fucking blasted in the playoffs. You know what I mean? And that's why it's key to have those good games in the division. And honestly, even though Tampa Bay is in one of the toughest divisions in the NFL, I wouldn't want it any other way. I love seeing Atlanta 2 times a year, with Matt Ryan and Julio and the rest of the guys. I love seeing Cam, Run CMC, and Kuechly because I love a lot of those players. Kuechly's one of my favorite. Run CMC is one of my favorite. Alvin Kamara is my favorite running back in the league, and he's a Saints player. I'm a Buck fan. Go figure. Drew Brees is probably one of my favorite quarterbacks. Rival team. It happens, But, at some point, we got to win, you would think. But coaching staff's better. You got Arians, you got Bowles. Byron Leftwich, we'll see how good of a play caller he is and what kind of chemistry he has with Jameis. So, 6 Inc., ENB90, Breeze, Brady, Mahomes, Donald, Mack, Rodgers, Gurley, Miller, AB, and Julio are my guesses. Those are good ones. Obviously Mahomes, obviously Aaron Donald, obviously Khalil Mack and Von Miller. As far as like defensive guys, those are like the best. Definitely AB, but I don't know if AB's name was already called in it already. But, 15 touchdowns leading the league, you would think. But Jay Creations, I'm a huge fan of Justin Herbert, too. I've watched him play in numerous games. Like I said, I went to 4 games last season, 2 in the front row, 1 in the 10th row on the 50-yard line the first game, and then 6th row against San Jose State on the San Jose State bench, and then on front row, 20-yard line against Chip Kelly, right behind the UCLA bench so I could yell at Chip, right? And when they wore the Jordan uniforms. And then I had front row seats for Arizona State to see N'Keal Harry on the same seats, 20-yard line. Amazing. Nothing like front row seats at a Duck game, let me tell you. Unbelievable. But seeing Herbert that close, there was at times where he struggled, but there's other times where it's like he makes those amazing NFL throws. And you know what? He might end up being a better NFL quarterback than Marcus Mariota. Who would have figured? We have to wait and see and wait for him to do it. It just depends on the team that he gets to and the coaching that he gets. But, Marcus Mariota maybe hit the ceiling, and, I don't know if he just needs to go to another team. Like, if Marcus Mariota went to the New England Patriots, how good would he be? It's kind of one of those things. Would he be the same quarterback, or would he get better with Josh McDaniels and that rest of that roster? You would think that he would get much better. Sony Michel, James White, rest of that roster that they have, defense, Belichick coaching Mariota. It's just something to think about. So sometimes we don't really know if a guy's hit his ceiling or if he just needs a change of scenery. Maybe that's it for Marcus Mariota. But I do love Herbert. Got his jersey. Love him. I'm an Oregon Duck till I die. That's my favorite team, period. As much as I love the Mariners, Ken Griffey Jr. is the reason why, because I met him when I was 7. As much as I love the Buccaneers, I love the Ducks more. And Blazers. So as far as like fandom, Ducks. And then probably for me, maybe Ducks, Bucks, and then Mariners, Blazers, or Blazers, Mariners. You know what I mean? It's just kind of tough with some of the teams. But I got hope that the Bucks are going to do something. So I can bust out the construction hard hat and the receiver gloves. I got all the gear. I got the leather like skull cap, that they used to wear back in the day, like in the 20s and the 30s, the replica. I got a Tampa Bay one of that. I got the gear to wear. They just got to come out and play. I'm a huge fan of Justin Herbert. Jameis, and the Panther fan is trolling. He says Josh Freeman. Funny that you bring up Josh Freeman. I got a Josh Freeman jersey in my closet right now. You just never know, what quarterback it's going to be. And when you have misery year in and year out, you never know, what's going to happen. Still sitting in my closet. Sewn one too. Probably couldn't even get toilet paper for it. But I can't just give it away to Goodwill. You know what I mean? It's part of my history. So, I'm going to hang on to it forever. A lot of people would just burn it or throw it away or give it to Goodwill, but I think it just shows kind of the kind of progression. If you look at your jersey collection as the years have gone on, it's easy just to buy like the big wide receivers or you know what I mean. But if your team isn't very good, you can kind of go through the ups and downs and see who you have. And the progression has been like Keyshawn Johnson, Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, Doug Williams. As far as like my jerseys, and then I went to like Josh Freeman and Doug Martin, but then I went back up to Levante David. So you could see it went from like elite to like down in the shitter and then back up again with at least some talent, you know what I mean? But yeah, Josh Freeman, gosh, he had like potential for like a year or two. Like the first year he went like 10-6. It wasn't too bad. Missed the playoffs to the Giants, but never could keep it going. Agreed. McCaffrey was better than Kamara this season. Well, Kamara was split in time. So that's not really a fair, evaluation. And Cam was injured at the back end of the season, right? When they went on that big losing streak, remember? Right? He couldn't throw. He even says that he probably shouldn't have played, but he still would do it the same way. So he couldn't throw it downfield, so he had to throw all those check downs and those screen passes. So that was really the only reason McCaffrey's numbers were inflated at the end of the year. It's not that they were just game planning for McCaffrey. It's just Cam's arm, he couldn't do it. He couldn't throw down the field. So he was trying to hide the injury, and they did all those checkdowns. I watched the tape. And Kamara was splitting time with Ingram. But, I mean, both are great. Don't get me wrong. Both are top 4, running backs in the league. Let's see here. 6 Inc. Bias overdose, he says. Doug Fox, you may have answered this, but what are your honest thoughts on Jameis as a Buck fan? I don't like him. One bit. When I first got him, right? First pick in the draft, Mariota or Jameis, super excited. Finally, franchise quarterback. They played in the Rose Bowl. I was like, either one. I mean, I'm a Duck guy, so, kind of was leaning towards Mariota because for me, I like character guys. That's why some of my favorite guys are good guys on and off the field. And I feel if you're a good guy off the field, you're going to be a harder worker. You're going to take tape more serious. You're going to treat people with respect. You're not going to be a knucklehead, right? Yeah, he might get injured like Mariota, but at least you're a good person, right? Jameis was the opposite, maybe more of a natural throwing talent, right? But issues off the field. And I don't like that. Ken Griffey Jr., my favorite player of all time, my hero. Met him when I was 7, got his autograph, still have it. Good character guy on and off the field. Derek Brooks, my favorite NFL player of all time. Character guy on and off the field. Levante David, my favorite player that's currently on the roster, not named Devin White. Character guy on and off the field. My favorite NBA player, Dame Lillard. Character guy. Cares about people on and off the court. You know what I mean? Those type of guys mean everything to me. And those guys, Clyde Drexler, on and off the court, character guy. You get these guys that are kind of questionable, it just ruins it for me. You know what I mean? If like Griffey ended up doing steroids, I would just been fucking heartbroken and crushed. Like if my favorite player was like McGuire or Bonds or Rafael Palmeiro or Sosa, I'd be fucking crushed. You know what I mean? So thank God Griffey just got fat and retired. You know what I mean? Played it the right way. Didn't do steroids, dominated, played for 10 years healthy, dominated, got injured for 10 years, went to the Hall of Fame, got fucking fat, right? Went back to the Mariners and then called it a career, And he should have been a unanimous Hall of Famer, first one, over Mariano Rivera. But some fucking idiot decided not to have him in for whatever reason because he's a fucking hater. But, it is what it is. But I don't like Jameis one bit. I'm ready to move on. Tua Tagovailoa to the Bucks. Let's tank. That'd be great. Ian B90. I was missing Mac Miller and Gurley. I had the rest, though. Can't believe forgot those 3. Khalil Mack, Von Miller, and Todd Gurley. Oh, yeah, Todd Gurley. Can't forget him. What an amazing year he had last year. Can't wait to see how he plays this year, and I can't wait to see Henderson. Watch the tape on him. Exciting running back. A lot of exciting new running backs coming into the league. I'm actually really excited to go break down tape. That's one of my favorite things to do when I'm not on YouTube here with you guys. I break down tape like Marcus does a lot. I watch shitloads of tape, YouTube, NFL Network. I just love it. It's like I feel like me and Marcus are scouts half the time, but that's why we know so much. I'm guessing Jameis needs to go and take his crab legs ass out of the league. Yes. Right. Yeah. He can go get that Uber driver with the burrito and grab that ass somewhere else. He can go eat those crab legs somewhere else. See, if Jameis was smart, right? Maybe when he's done out of the league or when he's in the league now, he should open up Jameis Winston's Crab Shack, or whatever. Make fun of yourself, but like make money. You know what I mean? He should have did that. I would have. I mean, if you had some issue like that, Jameis's crab legs, people would go. He could have made a lot of money, had a restaurant. Obviously, I'm not his financial advisor. He could be rich. Johnny Football, right? When he was in the league or out of the league, he could have been the Johnny Football party planner, right? He was partying all the time, right? But before his career was over, if he could have got people to pay him to bring the party, he might still be relevant today. Call your boy, O-Dog, financial advisor, Northwest Sports Fanatics. I got you. I got all the ideas. Let's see here. The message is being held for review. Man, nothing makes me more mad than when people have a chance to be rich and then be the face of a franchise and they fuck it all up. Johnny Manziel. Yeah. But also, too, you know what I mean? If you have depression, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, you know what I mean? Demons that you're dealing with, you don't really know exactly the whole story. There's a lot of people that go through things. I've gone through depression and gone through, different things too. It's not fun. You know what I mean? Sometimes people don't know the whole story. You know what I mean? And sometimes you have to kind of think about what it's, being like in someone else's shoes. And sometimes it's like they don't want to be that person. You know what I mean? That, that person that seems like they don't care. You know what I mean? But, addiction is something that's, it's tough to break. You know what I mean? Depression, something hard to break. I mean, I'm not Jay Creations. I'm not sure if you've ever gone through, any of those things before, or if you've known anyone that's gone through those. It's not an easy thing to take that next step and either get help or get better. You know what I mean? That's why mental awareness is so big nowadays with all the people with the, mental issues and suicide and all the stuff that's going on. You know what I mean? But yeah, Johnny Football, one of my favorite players. Me and Marcus is probably one of our most favorite players, must-see TV in college football at A&M with Mike Evans was Johnny Football. And Michael Vick, when he played at Virginia Tech. I watched every single game. And then when Johnny Football beat Alabama, holy shit, those games were so much fun to me. I wish that we would have had the YouTube channel back then so that we could have did reactions live to those games. Still one of my, even though Johnny Football is not in the league, he still was one of my all-time favorite quarterbacks to watch, period, in college football. Some of the most entertaining games that you've ever seen. It is unfortunate, though, when, things happen like that, though. That's big facts. Jameis has potential, but he acts like an ass. Yeah, but how much potential does he really have? He needs to go somewhere where there's, like, a lot of discipline, like the New England Patriots or, somewhere where, like, Belichick is really going to get on him. You know what I mean? But who knows? Some guys just never mature. You give a kid, $20 million or more or whatever, how much money he's getting. Even if it's less, $5 million, $1 million, you know what I mean? You don't really know how someone's going to act with that big head and that big money. You know what I mean? Just being ignorant. He's got to stop being ignorant and get mature, Ryan Strick, yeah, I'll tweet it to you if you want. Dude, that's so sweet that you got that, though. I haven't even got Madden yet, dude. Strick, what are you doing to me, man? You're all playing with Mahomes, running around doing no-look passes. You're all playing against, like, 5-year-olds, talking trash to them on Madden 20, right? You're not inviting your boy yet? Man, come on, Ryan. Damon P. Aquadio. Hopefully he's not colorblind like his dad. Mac Miller. Oh, Mac Miller. I thought you said Mac Miller. I was like, oh, Mac. Khalil Mack. Von Miller. Gurley are big names. It wasn't that hard for me to think of those. Although Gurley shouldn't be there. Well, he was the best running back in the league, before he got hurt. He's been the best running back in the league for the last couple years. But Le'Veon Bell about to take that crown. Big chance. Saquon. He's going to get a lot of looks, right? Zeke not in camp in Mexico. Alvin Kamara is going to get a big workload. We'll see if he can make it the whole season. No one's really talking about Le'Veon Bell. He could lead the league in rushing this season. That's kind of like my dominant running back that people are kind of sleeping on. But they got a good quarterback situation moving forward. Jamal Adams. They got C.J. Mosley on defense, one of the best tandems. Jets are going to be decent. I don't like Adam Gase, though. Fire his ass, right? But I like Le'Veon Bell a lot. He might help people win fantasy this year. That's big facts. Saquon was 16. That's too low. Agreed. Let's see, Ian B90. It feels better when you have bad seasons and then you get a good run of seasons. Yeah, it does. Fucking sucks, man, having, this shitty years. But I remember, like, when Tampa had their run, when I became a Tampa fan before they had their big run, when they drafted Warren Sapp, and Derek Brooks in 95. And I was like, this is my team. I'm going to stick with them, if no matter what. And I knew how they were building the roster with Dungy. I never knew Gruden was coming, but I knew because Dungy was kind of too conservative for me. We'd win games, but he'd always be like field goal every time. Get close, 4th and 1, 4th and inches, field goal, every fucking time, right? And it would work most of the time, but it's just like, go for it, man. Just, but when you have guys like Sean King, you can't count on him. Made the NFC Championship game against the Rams. Could have scored a couple touchdowns. We'd have beat them, but then probably lost to the Titans in that Super Bowl. But then finally got over the hump over the Eagles and then, ended up winning the Super Bowl, which was really nice. But when I was 21, when they won, I knew it. That might be the last one and the only one that I get for the rest of my fucking life. I knew it. You know what I mean? Because that roster was just so special. Gruden, right? Amazing. Monty Kiffin, amazing. Mike Allstott. And even the kind of like the role players, Keyshawn, Joe Juravicius, Keenan McCardell, right? Ken Dilger. Gosh, so many good players, just all on one roster. Simeon, Booger McFarland, Derek Brooks. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. John Lynch, Rondé Barber, Dwight Smith, Dexter Jackson. I mean, they just had the roster. But I knew it wasn't going to last forever, but it was sweet when they won. I'll tell you that. I've never been happier. It was crazy. If I could go back in time, I would go to the game, especially when it was in San Diego. I didn't have enough money to go, but that would have been, if there's a time machine or, time travel technology and I got the money, Tampa Bay, Raiders, Super Bowl 37. That would be awesome to go back. That's for damn sure. Let's see here. All right. So Cooper says, my bad, I'm late. A little low to me, but I might be biased. If you want a really under the radar guy, okay, I love this. So Jelani Tavai, second round pick of the Lions, is making a lot of noise in camp and apparently has all the intangibles. J Creations, I like that. Give me all those lower name guys. I love the lower name guys a lot. When I hear those type of guys, it makes me do my research and do my homework. So anytime you post those things, I'm going to check it out. You know what I mean? It's not like I know everything, because I don't. I learn something new every day, but I do read a lot, watch a lot of tape, and that's cool because, I've watched almost all the teams in training camp because I want to know what's going on, especially when we're doing the show. You got to be relevant. You got to know what you're talking about. All right, Tyreek is in the top 5 receivers on the list. That's something to be happy about. Obviously, with my phone going off with SportsCenter notification. Kamara at 14. Really? Wow. A Panthers fan. Dude, YouTube notification hasn't worked for me the past few streams, and I missed every stream. You know what? Something is going on with YouTube. I don't know if it's like some hack that someone's trying to like hack on us or whatever, but I've had a lot of people say that. So I'm not sure if you need to unfollow the channel and then follow it really quickly, just like, follow, or just go to your notifications and change it. But something happened where someone was doing something with our channel. I don't know if they tried to hack it but it seems like a lot of people's notifications for some weird reason when it was on, and then in the last couple of days it hasn't been. So I don't know if someone is intimidated by the Northwest Sports Fanatics or what's going on, but it seems like there's some kind of weird thing going on with YouTube, or someone's trying to hack into our channel. I don't know. But yeah, if you need to, make those adjustments, Panthers fan, I'm sorry it took you a while, but we had a great show with me and Marcus earlier today where we did breakout rookies that you can check out. A nice solid video me and Marcus put out earlier today. And then we obviously have this stream, so you can go back and watch it, under the radar breakout guys. But yeah, I apologize, that happened, but I've had quite a few people. Me and Marcus have been looking into it. Our sub count was like going up, and then it was going like backwards, and we were like, what's going on here? Like our sub count never goes backwards. You know what I mean? Like, why are we going backwards? Like, we should be going forward. So I don't know. The haters. Someone doesn't like us, I guess, but we're going to keep grinding. Barry Sanders was that guy for me. Big facts. I love Barry. Let's see. Don't get me wrong, but I think Tyreek had a better year. Pat Mahomes helped out, though, but I'm not discrediting Hill. He still has crazy skill. He said agree to disagree. Patrick Mahomes on tape is insane. That reaction video, or if you watch any Mahomes tape, the way that ball zips out of his hands, I don't think I've seen anybody zip the ball out like that. Maybe Dan Marino, Brett Favre, like in their primes, like just zip it like that. But Mahomes' zip is like almost on a whole nother level. Like, this guy's going to take the league by storm and maybe end up being the best quarterback that we've seen in a long, long time. Especially if he gets a couple Super Bowls under his belt too, really starts stacking the chips with the legacy. But as far as throwing the ball, I don't think there's anyone that's more of a joy to watch than Pat Mahomes, because no one really saw it coming. I mean, I watched him in college and I saw the potential. But another thing, Andy Reid, having him sit behind Alex Smith really did make a huge difference. You know, just like when Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for a year. Look what happened. It's almost the same thing. Let's see here. I got Madden 20 today, and I pulled an 85 overall Tyreek Hill from a Chiefs Gold player pack. That's awesome. I'm Saints fan, so it shouldn't be a surprise that I say that. When I split with a girl a few months ago, I went through a lot of shit. So, yeah, it makes sense. You don't usually think about players' personal lives, and the media should really start to consider, oh, yeah, man. Bro, I mean, people don't realize, like, yeah, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, marriages, you know, family issue. I mean, shit can get real, you know what I mean? And you can definitely be on a low point. So that's why you need to really surround yourself around good people. And sometimes it takes a while, you know, but really it's kind of like, you know, ironic, you know, on certain things that the way that they play out. But time heals everything. I know it's kind of cheesy, you know, and people say that, but it's true. You know, time does. You just got to be able to keep positive. You know, and we got the thing, and the main thing is like with the NFL and sports, it brings people together. So it's like no matter what race or how old you are, it's like everyone loves football as far as sports fanatics. So when it comes on, you know, Thursday, there's gonna be a lot of people that are excited. Even if you don't give a shit, right, about the Falcons or the Broncos, it's football. I'll be here, live, play-by-play reaction. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be excited. I don't care if it's the third or fourth or fifth stringers. It's football. Let's see here. J Creations, I used my 10-hour trial already, and I only got a standard edition, so I got to wait till Friday to play. It's not Adam Gase, it's Adam Gaze. I know. Adam Gase. God, he was like on drugs in that picture. I got Superstar Edition, so I got some free packs. Ryan Trick, same. The highest rated player I got out of those was 79 Trey Burton. Jeez. 11:30 over here. I'm tired. I'm going to go to sleep, catch all tomorrow, if not the Hall of Fame games. Yeah, I know it's getting late. I need to go work out again. I worked out earlier after the first video. So I got 5 more minutes. It's been almost 2 hours. So I got 1 hour and 55 minutes in. So I got about 4 minutes left. So any last questions you guys want to fire off, I'll answer them. Let's see here as we get here. Juan Thornhill apparently has a very good feel and natural instinct shown at camp. I like him a lot. Definitely a sleeper. You know, there's a lot of guys that are really making a name in secondaries. Thornhill's one of them. I like him. Under the radar breakout channel, Northwest Sports Fanatics, easily going to hit 20K. Well, obviously the goal is not to hit 20K. The goal is to hit 30K. You know what I mean? Because usually in football season, you know, we hit, you know, normally about 10,000. But the thing is with YouTube, I don't know what it is that if like you have to watch the videos longer for it to count as a view, or if people are hacking into our channel, you know what I mean? But something weird is happening, you know, with our channel, but hopefully we'll be able to grow and, you know, you guys will enjoy the videos, but, you know, I'm not worried about it. You know, I ain't going anywhere. This is the dream. And ultimately, you know, I'm trying to open up a YouTube studio out here and, you know, my neck of the woods so I can make other people's dreams come true. So I already know me and Marcus, you know, our dreams will come true. And I'm not trying to be, you know, a YouTube famous and be rich and, you know, rub it into people's faces and be like a Jake Paul or Logan Paul. You know what I mean? I'm trying to make other people's dreams come true. You know what I mean? And make a difference and leave a legacy behind. That's what's important to me. And that's big facts. And giving you guys some great football so we can all be together and enjoy the games together. Let's see here. Sad Panthers fan. I'm a Panthers fan, but I live near Buffalo, so I'm kind of a Bills fan too. The fact that the Bills needed a QB and had the 10th pick but traded it to KC, who drafted Mahomes, is pretty sad. Yeah, but you know what? But as far as the Bills are concerned, Josh Allen has got a lot of upside. You know, and honestly, if Pat Mahomes would have went to the Bills, he wouldn't be Pat Mahomes. That's big facts. You know, it depends on the coaching staff that you're around and the players that you have around you. So, Yang, yeah, what's up, bro? Glad to see you live. Glad to see you. Unfortunately, I'm going to be out of here in probably about 3 minutes. So, unfortunately, that is the situation. But I'll go over my list with you, you know, real quick so you can kind of get like just at least a little gauge on what we went over. So, top 5 breakout players that I have in 2019. Tube FN, oh my God, I'm so late. What up? What it do, my guy? I don't know if your notifications were turned off. Something's going on with YouTube. The haters, the hackers, the hating. But the breakout players that I have, honorable mention, Terrell Edmonds, safety for the Steelers. Number 5, Lamar Jackson. Number 4, Chris Godwin, wide receiver for my Bucks. Number 3, Michael Gallup, Cowboys wide receiver. Number 2, Traquan Smith, wide receiver from the Nolans Saints. Number 1, player you'll never guess, 49ers linebacker Fred Warner. You're like, who? Fred Warner, rookie linebacker last year. He had the most snaps out of any linebacker. Number 1, 1,060. Check it out. 124 tackles, 85 solo, great in coverage, breakout star. A guy that will be able to make a name for himself. Will he be the best linebacker in football ever? No. But he'll be a nice solid piece with him and Quan Alexander and the Niners moving forward. Tube FN, I missed you, man. Probably were, but I didn't have my phone by me anyways. That's all good, my guy. You know what I mean? But I've been on, I did a 30-minute plus video with Marcus earlier. So if you want to check out that, you can do that. Yang Yash. I like Fred Warner. I love Fred Warner. No one expected me to say Fred Warner, so that's why I did it. You know what I mean? I got to give you the sleepers and give you my knowledge. 12:40 where I'm at. Man, that's late, huh? Yeah, 9:40 here. Yeah, you guys are awesome though in the chat. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a night since it's about 2 hours because I got to go work out. I got to wake up at like 4 a.m. and go ready for a full-time job for work tomorrow. But I love you guys. Don Shingo, I'm not sure if you're still in the room, but thank you for the $2 donation. And then, like I said, I love you guys. Like the video, share the video. After this video, if you want to go back and watch this stream, I recommend it. I'll stay up for your streams. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you guys a lot. And if you want to go back and watch our video of the top 10 breakout rookies, that's about a 30-minute video that we did earlier today. And then we can, obviously, you can go over that tomorrow and you can enjoy that video. All right, if you want to play some Madden sometime, just let me know in the stream because I'm on PS4. I'm on PS4 too. I just don't know with the NFL season, with me reading and doing research and grinding and doing these videos, if I'm going to have time to play. I want to, but this is my dream and this is like my life. So if I have any time, I definitely will let you know. That'll be just like the best. But I just want to say I love you guys. Thank you for guys, being in the stream. Check out our other video that we did earlier today. Top 10 rookies to break out that are not named Kyler Murray. And I will be back at you guys with another video with Marcus, probably around 4 to 4:30-ish Pacific time. So look out for that. And then I'll have a live stream that I'll go on sometime between probably 7 to 7:30 West Coast time. I got one question for you guys. Who talk sports like us? Northwest Sports Fanatics. I'm out. Love you guys.